Hello and a happy Friday evening to one and all. I thought we'd have a different live stream tonight. I didn't think I'd be doing any more on drama, but there's so much going around and so many misconceptions out there. I thought it'd be quite a good idea just to come on and talk a little bit about it and put my views on certain things and yeah, just to have a little bit of fun. Hello, haven't seen you for a while. Thank you. Something innocuous. I'm very well. I'm good. It's Friday night. It's the Friday before the King's coronation. So here in Britain, everyone's celebrating. No. To be honest, I don't know anyone who is celebrating, but the villages and the towns and the cities are doing all the right thing and hanging flags and, you know, so there's going to be some street parties going on. But me, I'll just do what I normally do. Not going to lie, I do like to observe some drama from afar. Yeah, I think it's also one of my secret, what did I say? Secret whatever's. Yeah, I do pop in when I'm not working. Yes, I do. I like a bit of drama. I also like a bit of trolling. Hence why I've put trolling in the title to this video. Yes, yes, it's a guilty pleasure. It is. It's a guilty pleasure, but sadly it does leave you with a bad taste. If you stay in it for too long, it really does leave a bad taste in your mouth. So I sort of want, when I start feeling a bit I step away from it and continue living my best life because believe it or not, that's what I do. Um People seem to find it very difficult to understand where I'm coming from. So I thought this would actually be quite a good way of explaining where I'm coming from. One thing that people need to realize is I don't join gangs. I don't join discords. I'm my own person, always have been, always will be. Too late to start that now at my age. You know, if I can't make my own decisions now, then I'm never going to make my own decisions. So as far as the drama goes, um, do I relate to certain people more than others? Yes. I wouldn't be human if I didn't. Um, am I like shocked at certain people? Yes, most definitely. When they start showing themselves for who they really are, I'm like, oh. And then, you know, the good thing about the internet is you can step away from it. And that's what I do. Um, I wanted, and it's not a problem for me. I've made friendships in the past that I thought were real friendships, which have turned out not to be so. Um, was I upset about it? Yeah, of course I was at the time, but I'm over it now. And the more I see their um their online footprints, the more I think, well, thank goodness for that. Thank goodness I've stepped away from that nonsense. So anyway, what I thought we would do is possibly look at a few things and a few examples of what's going on at the moment. I actually went into this young man's live stream earlier today and found myself trolling. Now, what do I perceive to be trolling? What I perceive to be trolling is speaking my mind, and ignoring all the hateful comments that are sent my way. Do they hurt me? No, no. But sometimes I like to play. Sometimes, I like to play bat and ball. And I can honestly say it's quite a fun pastime. It really is. I quite enjoy it. Um, and isn't it absolutely? Isn't it? I think so too. And I think I'm rather good at it. It actually it makes me smile when so many people get so triggered by my presence in somebody's live stream, and I'm like, what have I done to you? And they come out with things that are meant to like upset me, and they go the I think the insults are the things that make me laugh, because it's like they're they're back at school, and I do wonder whether they've actually left school intellectually. Have they left school? They may be adults in the sort of physical sense, but I think intellectually they're not adults. So the words they use and the terminology just makes me laugh. I can't help it. So yeah, I do enjoy it. I do enjoy the trolling. um and sometimes I'll respond. Other times I'll just completely blank them. I just can't be bothered, but if I want to play, if I'm there to have a giggle, then I'll play with them. And the really persistent ones I just block, because I know that annoys them. Now, I don't know whether people are realize that I'm not in a group, don't call it a group, but I do go into Timber's live streams uh, daily, I would say, because she's very laid back, she's very relaxed, she's lovely. I think she's a lovely human being. So I enjoy spending time in there. I'm accepted in there. I'm not run, I'm not run out of the chat room. And yeah, and there's some really lovely people in there, and I thoroughly enjoy it in there. That is my peace time. I never troll. I never troll in Timbers. Um, but there are some places I do like to troll. One of them is Yo Mama's. And oh my God, they come for me like, oh my, yeah, I'm not even going to try and imagine what kind of lives these people must lead, that they see a name in someone's chat that just clicks a switch and sends them into like hate mode. I don't I I can't relate to that, guys. I just can't. And yeah, but I mean, you can tell what it means to me. I'm just sat with the biggest grin on my face. I'm not a serious individual. I never have been. I always laugh at myself. Other people laugh at me. I laugh at other people. My family take the mickey out of me left, right, and centre. I don't take things seriously. The only things that I really, when I'm online, take seriously is when I'm doing my tutorials, which, you know, I'm very grateful for the 10 views I get. It's 10 views that are it's 10 viewers that are interested in what I do, and that makes me a happy bunny. So I'm fine with that. I mean, one of the biggest one of the biggest trolls they say is, "Oh well, no one wants to come and watch you." Um, am I bothered? No, because I don't want that audience anyway. I want a different audience for my tutorials. It's that simple. Anyway, I thought it might be quite nice to have a look at this young man who's called Monty. Now, the link with Monty, I think I will explain a little bit, because I'm not going to hate on him. I've got nothing to hate him for. Um, I don't really know him. I feel he's quite a serious guy. I've been in his chats before. I've questioned his um I've questioned his actions before in the past. And ironically, it's with the same person. It was when he had DC on and he allowed her to just sit there and tell a whole pack of lies. And I thought, what? And me being me, I did say a few things in the chat, and I don't think he was very happy with what I said. Um, now, moving along to today, it was to my shock and disbelief that I saw that Monty had these two people on. So, let me play this for you. Okay. Bear with. I'm trying to do it. Right, here we go.
Bad Boy Tragic in the back. Welcome everybody. How's it going? We're here. We're ready. All right. Let me add you both. We're just gonna get this started together. Hey, AK, what's up, Bad Boy Tragic? What's going on? You guys
Hey,
good?
what's up, bro?
I'm all
Yeah,
right.
good, good.
Just here. I mean, what are the odds? What are the chances that just yesterday this guy is?
Okay. Now let me explain. This guy on the right-hand side is called Bad Boy Tragic. Now, if somebody comes online and calls himself Bad Boy Tragic, aren't you gonna think? I mean, are you gonna think, "Oh, what a lovely, wholesome young man. I bet he's lovely. I bet he's got a lot of good things to share with the internet." The guy's in his 40s and he dresses up like a teenage boy. But that's by the by. This other one, AK, I don't know of. I've seen her around. She doesn't seem particularly friendly, but what I have to explain to you guys is that these two, right? These two lovely people are in the DC community. Now, I didn't realize that Monty was in the DC community. I didn't realize that. So when I went in there today, I was like, what? What are you doing with these? What are you doing with these two people in here? Are you sure? And like a fool, I always think, oh, you know, he obviously doesn't know. He doesn't know. So I started trolling. Couldn't help myself, guys. I just did. And I've shared a panel with Ginge, as I call him. Do you know what? He's just like, I'm not going to sit here and call people names. What's the point? And at the end of the day, everyone's entitled to follow who they want to follow. Now, I understood after a period of time that the reason why Monty had these two individuals on was because they have a shared grievance with somebody called Gigi. Gigi. Now, Gigi, some of these names, is somebody that, once again, I've heard of. I don't think I've even watched any of his content. He does, yeah, just not interested in it really, to be honest. But apparently he is now planning to take to court negs. Now, this is where these two come in. These two are like the negs disciples who are going around the channels, speaking nothing but wonderment for their leader. And I've got to say, I was shocked. I was shocked that Monty was giving them a voice, quite simply. That's it. And I was like, what the hell are you doing? Then I ended up with like the full, and I mean the full troll head on my shoulders. Couldn't help it, guys.
Grifting to the T, getting the GoFundMe. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, it's insane, isn't it?
It is. It is. It's completely insane. This is the same guy who tells or says everybody else is a grifter when they have a GoFundMe for legitimate reasons. Oh, you're a grifter. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Well,
okay. What's ridiculous at the moment, for those of you that don't know, is that in this little corner of the internet, various creators are taking out GoFundMes and saying they want it. You know, they need the money for the courts. They need to pay their solicitor. They need this and they need that. And they are managing to to get donations upwards to, like, you know, 10 grand, $10,000. I mean, who are these people? Who are these people? I mean, you just have to laugh about it because you can't take it seriously. And that's why I troll. You know, you cannot take it seriously. It's anyway. So the point is, Monty's decided, because they've now got a common enemy, who is Gigi, that he's going to have these two wonderful people up on his channel to discuss Gigi. Let me tell you, I hardly heard a word. I hardly heard a word of what he said because I was so astounded that he could possibly have them on. So for me, it was a complete waste of time, him sort of saying anything, because I wasn't listening. I wasn't listening. Hey, Edna. I decided I'd do a different live stream tonight. I thought I'd do drama. Friday drama. Maybe I'll start that. What do you think? Edna, you're welcome to come up. And in fact, anyone is welcome to come up if they wish to speak to moi. I'm happy to speak to anybody. Having said that, I've blocked so many people. There shouldn't be a problem. But yeah, you know, I'm open to speak to anyone. If anyone's got any questions they want to ask me, I'm perfectly capable and quite willing to answer them. Right. So for me, Monty has always been a little bit of a conundrum to me. He seems to find himself in quite a few situations that seem to sort of rub people up the wrong way. Now, I don't go by what other people say. I go by what I see. And I've never seen any of that in Monty. So I wouldn't, and I don't jump on bandwagons, you know. So I've always seen Monty as an okay kind of guy. I haven't seen, you know, all this womanizing everybody's accusing him of, and all this and that and the other. And I just think, you know, I just make my own mind up on people. And sometimes, you know, maybe I make mistakes. I don't know. But I'm not I'm not looking at this. I'm not talking about this as a hater in any shape or form, because I know for a fact that Monty has helped out a lot of creators, and that's a good thing to do. People don't have to do that, guys. So for him to have done that, I think is, you know, it shows that he's a decent guy. Of course, you're going to get stories that are brandished around the internet, but they're just that, they're stories. Unless there's proof, then they're stories. And that's how I feel about it. That's how I feel about anyone. One of my sayings is, what is it? I see as I find. And yeah, it's has it got me in trouble in the past? Yes, maybe it has. But the good thing about the internet is you can switch off, and that's what I think a lot of these people don't realize. You know, I really don't think they realise. So that's what I wanted to say about Monty, really, and why I was being a troll in his in his live stream. I hope it didn't upset him too much. If it did, oh well. Sorry, Monty. Couldn't help it. You had these people on, and yeah. Let's just talk a little bit more about Tragic. Tragic is one of these people that I mean, come on, he calls himself Tragic. What else can you say? Let me find his channel and you'll see what kind of guy he is. Oh, that's Timberley. Right, hang on one second. Let's get that out and let's just see what his channel is like, and then you'll see. I mean, he really is a joke. Right, okay. Oh my god. Right, okay, let's add this. Let's go with the flow. Right. So this is Tragic's page. It's called Bad Boy Tragic. Let's click on there. Right. Now, I don't know what it is with his speech patterns, but there's something a little off. I don't know whether he thinks he's black. I don't know whether he thinks he's a teenage boy. I don't know what his issue is. I mean, what's that about? I know that he's in his 40s, but yeah, let's just see. All right, let's look at this one. Call to action to entire girl world community. Shall we have a look at that one? Let's see. Now, I'm going to apologise for foul language because these people don't seem to be able to string a sentence together without swearing. So let's have a look at this. Let's see what's happening here.
Hello, my name is Bad Boy Tragic, aka Big Trash 1K, former signed artist of Tommy Boy Records and former GQ model. Throw them bees up. Throw them bees up. Anyway, this is a call to action to everyone involved in the fatmosphere. As you can see right here, this is Sam Tefler, Yaba's, the YouTube Underground's girlfriend. Hello, my name is Bad Boy Tragic, aka Big Trash 1K.
What's that about? What's that about? Hello, this is Big Boy Tragic 1K. And I was a musician. I don't think he was. I really don't think he was. And I was a GQ model. Oh, come off of it. Get out of here. What, with that face? Stop it. That's insane. We don't want to watch that either, do we? Have I got my mic on? Can you hear me? Oh, yeah. Right, let's see what else. Oh, no. I want to get out of that. No,
My name is Bad Boy.
No, shut up. Right, now. Oh, yes. This is quite amusing. He is in this war, this real war with Hussey, right? And we all know who Hussey is. Please check out my my Hussey Chronicles, guys, on my channel. They're a real laugh. Anyway, so this is him now saying that Hussey was sexually harassing him, attacks his cat, and rage quits. I mean, this guy was always flirting outrageously with Hussey. And we know what Hussey's like. Okay, I mean, come on. Right, who have we got here? Oh, God, look at that. Right, I want to show you him with Negs. Was there one with Negs? You know that delightful person that we all love? The one is like the consummate victim. He should have victim stamped all over his head. Right, here we go.
How do you go about planning your savings for Christmas?
I would just normally try and get extra work to
What
be
about
able
the
to
ads,
afford
guys?
it.
Planning can really soften that impact. Something that does help is to
Come
work to the
on.
weekly
Oh,
budget. Any little
God.
extra that you have.
Don't you hate it when they have these adverts that go on forever and ever? Oh. Right, okay. Here's the model. Sorry to keep laughing, guys. It's just so funny to me. Okay, here are these chappies. Let's see what they've got to say.
All right. So we should be live.
Yeah, you're live. Jesus.
Welcome, y'all. So I did a boo-boo. I fucked up. Should be live. Okay, I hear myself.
Oh my God. That's enough of that, guys. That's enough of that. Hello, Edna. Edna, now we can talk all sorts of drama tonight.
Hello, how are you, Jan?
I'm good, darling. How are you?
Oh, no complaints. I missed a lot of this stream because of I had a doctor's appointment. So, but I'm ready to get into it.
Which one? The one with Monty?
Yeah, well, I haven't seen this one at all, the one that you have on screen now, but the one with Monty is the one I'm referencing.
Well, let's do that one because
Okay.
I couldn't listen to him. So perhaps you can tell me. Oh, something innocuous likes us together. Yay.
Oh, thank you.
We're the new bad girls, but only on a Friday. The rest of the week, I'm good. Right, so
Do you want to pull up
on?
Monty's stream? Yeah,
Yeah.
sure, because I really don't know much of what was going on. Like I heard a little bit of it. It was on the background, but I was this long story
Well,
short, I was doing a telehealth type of appointment. So
okay, you all right? Let me just ask, is everything okay?
yeah, I'm trying to think what can I share. There's nothing really like super personal. I think I've shared that I've lost like 150-ish plus pounds or so. So,
Wow.
yeah, and it's just gotten to the point where it's been like 3 years post panini press, and since I've been to the doctor and like I moved to my hometown and all that kind of stuff. So, I'm getting older, so it's time to, I can't just like let things go unchecked. So, no
You're a good
diabetes or
girl.
yeah, pre-diabetes or anything. My vitamin levels were all good except for maybe like vitamin D, which is understandable being darker skin and
Have to get
moving
out
to
there in the sunshine,
yeah,
darling.
getting to a colder climate. I'm not getting not touching grass like I should. I know that. So that's
Mhm.
about the main thing that I need to work on, other than just getting like my weight in order, which we're getting there.
Good. That's good. That's good news. Hello,
Yeah.
lull thoughts. I'm not doing a tutorial tonight. I'm going to be naughty and I'm going to talk about drama and trolling. I hope you don't mind.
What? Let's get it.
So let's do this. So let's add this to the stream and let me see, move us over there, make this bigger. And let's see, I mean, how long he wasn't on for that long. He's on for an hour and a half. So we're not going to watch all of it. But I'm more
Okay.
interested in what I actually said on there, which we're not going to. He does address me at some point. I think he got a bit annoyed with me.
I see that
Hey
part.
ho. What?
I did see that little exchange where he's kind of, you could tell that he was like, "Well, Jen, you've had your fair share of whatever, And it's like, to be honest, Jen, you're a little spicy one, so he's not wrong, but at the same time, that was kind of funny. Who's
Yeah.
AK? I'm not sure who she is at all, or how she laid in
I
it.
I don't know either, but I'm
Okay.
guessing that she's a friend of Tragic and therefore, friend of the attic dwellers, as it were. So,
Right.
yeah, but I don't know. I don't know if I thought it was Farida for a minute.
Well, I think Farida is in hiding for the time being. I think
Oh,
she really kind of got embarrassed.
oh dear. I never get
Well,
embarrassed. Not really.
yeah, well, it's like, what can you do? It is what it is. But
I
I,
just laugh.
yeah, it's the thing is, how in the world can I mean, I get it. I think I do. But it's like, ma'am, you're talking about your last $200 with someone who's facing homelessness. It's not the same. And it's
Mm,
and I don't have anything against Farida or anything like that. I've never spoken to the woman. So it's not, it's just the facts are the facts.
yeah. I think
Yeah, there's
one of
really nothing else I could say about it. But yeah, but with this situation with Tragic, so there's this is like their response to this isn't in response to Gigi, but or this is in response to Gigi and Ron, right? Ron being
yeah,
next.
next, yeah.
Okay. So Gigi wants to come up with this 15K um lawyer fund
Oh,
to
is that how much he's
combat
going
next,
for?
right?
Is that how
Well,
much
that's
he's
what I'm
going
trying to find.
for?
Listen, Monty is gonna drag us. He's gonna be like, "Y'all, that is Gigi. Don't know what's going on."
This went on forever. I couldn't do you know, I couldn't get over the fact that he had Tragic on there. So and then
What's the deal with Tragic? Why, like, what do you have against him?
oh my god, he's ghastly. He's been up to all sorts of, misdemeanors in, various communities.
Minor crimes?
He's very shady. Very, very
Okay.
shady.
Well, are these
Um
legal minor crimes or are these the unlegal, like Monty type, like minor crimes?
No, worse than Monty. I mean, I don't think Monty's done anything. I don't know what Monty's done. I mean, I take as I find, and with Monty, I've always found him pleasant. I've never taken any notice, particularly when, I go into Yo Mama's chat and they're always slagging Monty off in there. And I don't join in because I don't think, I've got nothing to slag him off for. If I don't,
Right. Well, of course, I'm just kidding. But you said
yeah.
misdemeanor crimes. I'm just wondering, like, are these like natter level where he's actually been convicted? He has a
I
court
think
case
he
or
is,
whatever.
yes. I think he
Oh,
has
okay.
been convicted. I shouldn't say it online,
Mhm.
because I don't 100% know the ins and outs of it, but I do feel
Gotcha.
that he
Okay.
was, convicted of a violent crime, put it that way.
Okay. So we'll
Um,
just, with the entire, like rock assault, this is from your understanding.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
I got it.
Well, yeah, okay, if you s yeah, okay, just to be safe, allegedly and all that. Um, now
She was like, I'm no lawyer, but we'll go with that, Edna. Got it.
yeah, yeah, alright. Um, so, I mean, the link is in the chat if anyone wants to come in and shine the light on, what else has been happening, please come in because I don't know everything, and as I said in his chat, I said, because they then started talking about Gigi, coming for Monty. Now, I wasn't aware of that. I didn't know that Gigi came for Monty. One, because I don't follow Gigi, and
Mhm.
two, because I'm not really interested. If I don't, there's always so much drama between these creators. I don't pay much heed to them. I'll be perfectly honest with you.
Right.
And so I didn't know. I don't know all the ins and outs. Well, when I said that in the in the chat, people were like, "Oh, well, what are you talking about then? What are you coming in here for?" The usual crap that people say.
Right.
And I
Well,
just
you might
thought,
not know everything, but you have strong feelings. And what are those feelings about?
I have strong feelings. Did you say?
Right, because you said tragic was ghastly. That
Yes.
it sounds like strong language to me.
Yeah. Well,
And so, yeah.
right. So my issue was why Monty. Oh, I'm going to cough. Hang on. My issue was why Monty would have someone like Tragic on on his channel. That's
Oh,
my
well,
issue was.
it seems
So
like that's because he's anti GG as well. So it's like, what? How does they saying go? The enemy of my enemy is my friend, or something like that.
yes, well that's what I understood. But um see I don't yeah, okay. And that's fair enough. That's fair enough. But
It's like
then
I get
somebody
it. There's so
then
much
somebody
drama around everything and everybody, but it's like if you like write everyone off, there's nobody to play with. You know what I mean? There's nobody to talk to.
that's true. And that's why nobody comes in my live streams. And I'm happy.
Well,
I'm
I
genuinely
disagree with it.
happy.
Honestly, I know that some things, some words have been said. I get it. And and we're throwing away accusations. They're throwing around accusations, excuse me, of uh being a PDF things like that. You know what I'm saying? Without getting demonetized. Like that's strong language. So I get people want to somewhat protect their reputation, things like that. And I guess not to speak too vaguely, my understanding is that Gigi is trying to combat things that was said between Ron and himself. And I think Monty's honestly, I feel like Gigi is a bit of a he's just trying to get a piece of whatever's going on, right? And so he's just doing it whatever way he can. And it seems like he piled on with the whole Monty scandal that happened and he's just keeping it going. I feel like that's just how Monty's involved.
Okay, now, what is this Monty scandal? I know about that girl Buddha bitch, was it? I know something happened there. But other than that, I don't know. And if that is the scandal, why is Gigi involved in that? How is Gigi got involved with that? That's what I don't
I
understand.
think that's the point. He's not. He's
Okay.
inserted himself into some business that's not really his to mind. So that's
Okay.
where Monty's like, go. And I think that's what's bringing upon this alliance or this relationship with like Tragic and now AK and whomever. It's where it's like, GG, you want to make this something, we can make it something. Let's talk about what you got going on. Because really, GG doesn't it doesn't appear that he has anything to really talk to Monty about, right? This isn't his
Right,
business.
okay. See, that's what I didn't understand. Shall we just listen to a bit of it?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Okay, honey. I'm going to mute myself so that you can't hear.
He'll go after people, right? And AK and I both have him talking behind the scenes how he likes to poke people, get them to respond, and then when they respond back to him, then he starts bitching and crying because he can dish it out, but he can't take anything back, like literally nothing.
Mhm.
So this is what he does. He's been threatening litigation like this for a very long time. So he'll poke people, right? And he'll keep poking and poking and poking. Then you'll get people to go back at him. And when they do, then he brings up the litigation again.
Is that actually what he does? I don't know. I mean, is Gigi always taking other creators to court? I don't know. Because that's what
Oh,
Tragic
I have
said.
no idea. I don't follow GG at all. Like when it comes to
No.
GG, he's probably like the most let me use my I'm starting to get a little relaxed, Shan. So
Oh,
I don't
it's
want to be
okay.
too reckless here. But it's like I really don't care about GG at all in the mix of all of this. And
No.
the only reason why we're talking about him is because Monty has a stream dedicated to him, honestly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, okay. So let's put this in a nutshell. So far, right, I've learnt
Mm-hmm.
what the link is between Monty, Tragic, and this AK woman.
Okay.
And it's a dislike of Gigi. Okay. So what we
Mm-hmm.
have to realize now is virtually everything that comes out of Tragic's mouth is a lie. So, but I'm willing to play I'm willing to play the video to see what he's going to say. So far he's said that Gigi, this isn't new with Gigi.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. It still hasn't explained to me why Monty's involved in it. I don't understand why Monty's there.
Well, because GG has been when all of the scandal came out, Monty scandal, uh, for whatever that's worth, right?
Hmm.
GG had a lot to say about it. And he brought
Oh,
out
did
Vicky
he?
vibes and everything. Like, so that's
Oh,
the whole point. He said that GG was saying that Monty was doing minor crime.
oh, right.
And
Okay.
he said all this without knowing anything, just kind of being like, "Hey, there's some drama going on. Let's talk about it." And he's talking about it, talking about Monty's a criminal, that he's, this terrible guy, X, Y, and Z. He doesn't know what he's talking about. First of all, do any of
No,
us really know Monty? You know what I mean? Like that's the whole thing. We're all strangers on the internet, first of all. So
exactly.
so that alone is like, okay, Gigi, what are you really saying? But even if you were to give him like the grace to say like, "Hey, no, we're gonna take what Monty has presented as as who he is, and what these ladies have presented as who they are," the math the math ain't mathing. And it's been proven. The time has come out where it's like, was it Tiny Dancer, who I really don't know anything about, but it just seems like it's come out that she's been in other communities, that that she's kind of played this game or had her fun with going after certain creators and creating drama, what have you. And then we
Mhm.
looked at Buddha Bitch, where she seems to have a history of conducting herself a certain kind of way, um, in the public establishments in her area, right? So, and what do we know about Monty? He's gotten himself into this community on YouTube, and it's like, what can he do? You know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. He's still here just doing his videos, X, Y, and Z.
See, that's one
But
of the things that
yeah.
attracted me to him, at first, was that, he appeared to, be of sound body and mind, and, I liked his
Listen,
post.
Jan, it doesn't take much in this part of the
I know.
YouTube.
You see you watch somebody who's even remotely, that you feel may be able to string a sentence together, and it's like, "Oh, okay, I can listen to this guy."
They're
While there are a
amazing.
lot of
They're a
characters.
shining star, right?
Yeah, and, at the end of the day, we only know, especially from creators who go live, okay? I think people who go live show their true personality, and because you can't be somebody else for like an hour or an hour and a half, can you? You've got to be yourself. And that's one of the
It's
reasons I
difficult to
like going
do.
live,
Yeah.
because I want people to know I'm an absolute nutter. I'm not full of hate and vitriol, gunning for everybody that doesn't agree with me. I mean, I had to block somebody in this chat, um, because she kept coming after me. And at first, I sort of laughed and I think, "Oh, that was daft." But then she kept on, and I found out that she's one of the taters. And I thought, well, so I scrolled back just to check what were some of the things she was saying about me, and I thought, "Yeah,
Mhm.
you do deserve to be blocked," so I blocked her. But I've told her as
And
well.
upon second reflection that you were correct. Listen, no, no, no. She was out of pocket. I've done my reflecting. I've done my internal wellness check of the situation, and I've concluded that I acted appropriately. Jan, I absolutely
Yeah,
love you so much. That is so
yeah.
that's how the police work over here. They conduct their own investigations with all the misdoings. Nobody's ever wrong. It's amazing how that works.
That's a really good point there, lull thoughts, because yes, some people do become the character. Now the thing with me is, I'm this. This is me, and the only time that I'm really serious, online, is if I'm talking about racism or artwork. Because they're things that hold very special to me. But
Right.
anything else, it's just a joke, and some of these people, honestly, that they take it way too seriously. I think that's what
Oh,
I'm
they
trying to
do.
say. They
Yeah.
take
No,
it
no, I
too
understand.
seriously.
And the thing is, I have been there too. Like, that's why I don't fault them, because we're talking about serious topics. Like, we throw racism around lightly, but it's a heavy topic, and it's thrown through around here, not just, black and white, but
Absolutely.
with Egyptian, with the Middle Eastern culture and all the different, however you can kind of drill that down with Islam, with Nader being Egyptian, with difference being in Kuwait, and in Syria, and there's the wars that are going on, and just there's a lot of different layers, and we don't know. A lot of us don't know what we're talking about when we talk about these more nuanced topics, for sure.
But the great thing about having a platform on YouTube and also on any social media is you can give your opinion, and nobody has the right to take that away from you. And
Exactly, but people also need to realize that just because it's my opinion doesn't mean that it's super informed, and in a way it doesn't have to be. And that's not to say like facts aren't important, things like that. But you don't have to be like a subject matter expert to kind of express yourself about something.
absolutely. But, you can be in some chats, and if you it's like when I was in this chat here, I was like, well, I just don't understand, why Monty would have these people on. I just don't understand it. But of course, that was seen as being, negative, and how dare I even
Right.
think that? But I did manage to sort of garner some sort of backstory to it, but it was such hard work. And in the end, I was involved in so many so many troll spats. I just gave up even trying to listen to it, because it was just silly. It just got really silly. So let's
Y-
listen. Shall we listen to a bit more?
Yeah, go right ahead.
Okay.
So it's a form of intimidation is what he's doing. And it's also very illegal. It's highly illegal to keep threatening litigation every time somebody responds to your fucking bullshit that you're starting in the first place.
Yeah, exactly.
It's ridiculous. Get the fuck out of here with that.
I mean, I think he's having a mental health crisis. I'm just going to say it. This is like
Yeah.
an ongoing mental health crisis that he is.
I love. Hang on. I love the way they they automatically skip to the mental health diagnosis. I was actually told in the chat that that's all I do. And I think it's what that woman, what was her name? Nora, I think I blocked. And someone called Holla. Oh, I can't remember now. Anyway, they both said, oh, yeah, well, Jan always likes to diagnose people. And if they don't agree with what she says, then she calls them a schizophrenic. I don't know where they get that from. Where do they get that? I mean, they
I don't
just pluck
know,
it out of
but
the air.
the thing is, when we're looking at some of these people, right? There's I feel like I've done some intense studying with all the time I spent in Grow World over the past almost year. It's really been about a year at this point. And
Hmm.
and it's like the way we say, oh, is it fair to really look at someone who's obese and say that they're not healthy? I'm sorry, I think we can. With
Yeah.
the behaviors that are being expressed, I don't know if it's too far off to be able to say, like, listen, when you have somebody on a public platform acting and carrying it out the way that they are, it's
Yeah.
kind of safe to say that they have some mental health issues going on.
Yeah. I've been in situations, I've been in chats where people all of a sudden just say, oh, she's obviously got BPD, about Chantel. Oh, she's this and she's that and she's that. And I'm like, well, maybe we shouldn't go sort of diagnosing her, but, you can sort of, if you know a bit about mental health, you can spot people's what do you call it, behaviors, and link them
Right.
to well-known symptoms of a given disease, illness. It's not,
Hmm.
you're not just making things up.
Well,
Um,
and I would venture to say when you have a history of wellness, or you have
mm,
an idea or understanding of what that entails, then it's also not very difficult to pinpoint illness.
yeah, exactly. It doesn't mean that you're diagnosing somebody. It doesn't mean that. And I think, one of the infuriating things about, going into people's live chats, is that people are so literal.
Yes, very much so.
And that can also point to certain mental health issues. If people,
Listen, Jan.
yeah, it does though. It points to
But the thing
autism.
is, people
And
are so mental health across the board is so stigmatized that
yeah,
you can't really bring these up and talk about these disorders without offending people.
mm,
And it's
yeah,
like, you know, you got to take that up with your creator or whomever, how you feel about your mental state, right?
mhm.
Talk to your therapist.
I did
But
a, I
it's
did
not
a
my fault, like if I can see it or pinpoint it.
exactly. And what's wrong with giving your opinion? Giving your opinion, is should be accepted as that, and an opinion. It's not a diagnosis. And
And
this is where a lot of people don't seem to understand the difference. I
I
mean,
think
I did a
something should be
video.
said about people. Like, we're not speaking in the sense of, like, I was in Megan's live where I was watching a replay or something, Megan Fox, and she was saying, like, oh, all my yummies are so delicious. They're so intelligent. She was, Megan's a hoot. And she's just saying how, oh, it was something that she said. I can't really grasp, Megan and her Meganisms. She's talking about nonsensicalness. And she was just talking where she's like, I know this is a double negative. And I know you hate when I talk about taxes, but if you read through some of our tax laws and the double negatives and go to this line and do this and do that, you would understand, and maybe I think people could get like the enjoyment out of Megan so much more because it's hilarious because people might look at her and say, oh, she's on this or that or whatever, but it I just think that's part of making light of life and having fun with it, right? And we have a certain level of intelligence that without understanding everything from A to Z, we can speak on a topic and give a somewhat intelligent or involved or what's the
Observed
yeah, it's like
reaction. And that's
yeah, and
that's
it's
all we're doing. We're giving a reaction, and I mean, I'm a lot older than, a lot of people on here. And I've got a lot of wisdom when it comes to mental health, because sadly I've had to deal with bad mental health all my life. So yes, I do understand mental health. But that
And
doesn't
it's like
mean
people don't understand that doesn't mean you're a doctor, but that also doesn't mean that just because you're not a doctor, you don't have something valid and helpful and whatever to say about the topic.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Right, let's get rid of this advert. Hang on.
I'm going to show you how to write song lyrics super fast. I'm going to be using Lyric Studio, and I have this beat that I want to write.
She was the elder of the community. It was her job to do this. Like, what? No. Like you threw a fit about it.
That's ridiculous.
But I mean, AK and I were talking. You brought up a good point about things that you were thinking about. You were looking through some past things and stuff like that. But you might as well, just discuss that because
Yeah. Well, when I was when this all first came up with Gigi back into their accounts.
Yeah.
Please give the evidence after he kept on repeatedly saying that I'm a criminal for some reason. So I'm still waiting on that. Jan's views is like, why am I bringing these? What do you mean by these people, Jans? I'm bringing people on that know Gigi, that knew Gigi, that was interacting with Gigi. So they
Jan
know
like
Gigi
us.
best.
Yeah, Jan's Twitch doesn't like us.
She doesn't like us very much. It's okay. Just ignore her.
That's what I'm doing.
I'm famous.
So Jans, yeah, I'm doing what's good for me, what's good for my channel, and I'm sick of things that I've noticed over my short tenure, because I've noticed that in girl world, and not a lot of people last a long time. People
Yeah,
come
I've
and
seen
go.
that.
One of these reasons is because you might get into interactions with somebody, then they start making shit up on you. It could be true, it could not be true. A lot of these times I'm seeing things being made up on people that obviously I even know is not true, and I see
Yeah.
it happen over and over and over again, and
Well, it's
it
funny
seems to be a
because
pattern.
yeah, Gigi wants to talk about like his potential reputation being damaged.
Okay, so this just sort of goes on and on about just talking in circles about Gigi. And did you notice the way I woke Monty up there? For goodness sake,
Ye-
man.
Oh, I mean, what can he do though? It's so funny because it's like you have to have some content, right? Gigi's talking about him. He doesn't know
Yeah,
what he's talking about. It's so super frustrating. And Monty said what he's had to say about his scandal or what have you.
yeah.
And it is what it is.
I know. And all I'm saying is, why have you got these two people on there? And
Because Gigi's talking about him and these people know Gigi. So they're gonna, like corroborate his experience with Gigi.
yeah. Well, now I've seen this. I think what I might do is see if I can get the chat up.
Okay.
Oh, right. Okay, we can get the chat up now. This would be fun. Right, hang on. We can see we can see me in troll mode. Oh, my
Oh,
old
funny.
friends in there. Ugh. Right, oh, here we go. Chase Lounge. Okay, put Jan likes to threaten people with her blonde-haired, blue-eyed daughter, saying she will mop the floor with everyone. Oh my
I
God.
feel like
Oh,
that's the racism at play again, right? Can you help it that you're mixed race and that your daughter is fair skinned
blonde with
and
blue eyes. I know,
y-
exactly.
what does
Right,
that have
hang
to
on.
do with anything?
Right, okay. I know, I know. I mean, they just bring anything in, and this is what I wanted to go over with you really. I mean, all they're talking about, in my opinion, is absolute rot. But um yeah, I'd quite like to go over these because to me it's hilarious. I just think I don't know how I can make this bigger for you, but anyway. So here we go. So I was trying to sort of, join in every now and then in what was going on. So I put it's all about the money. They are all copying the biggest grifter, Hussey. Then somebody by the name of AJ Lair put Jan, your behavior is astonishing. Why? Why? What was
So
I
wait, I
doing?
don't get how Hussy is a grifter. What do you mean by that?
Right. I think Hussey's a grifter because it's all about the money for him. And I have seen him grifting for money since he started. He started off in a small way in that he would be like, I think the first one was when he got turfed out of this nightclub and he said, "Oh, I really hurt myself, and this bouncer, I'm going to take the bouncer to court, and this, that,
And was
and
this
even
like years ago or is this
yeah,
recently?
no, that was the
Oh,
first time,
oh,
right?
okay.
Yeah, so that's the sympathy thing, and then a bit later, it was like, I got accosted coming out of my lift. So then,
Gotcha.
oh, watch my channel later and you'll see what happened. Well, what actually happened was he was in a lift and there was a woman. Now, let's say it was a woman. Hussey apparently is over 6 foot tall. Okay. Now,
Mm-hmm.
this woman accosted him in the lift. But I think what actually happened was the woman was trying to get out as he was trying to go in, and they may have brushed past each other. That's what happened. He wasn't accosted in the lift. Okay. So that's the other
Okay.
one. Then there was what was the other one? Oh, then there was the grifting for the Mac, right?
Oh,
Uh,
okay.
right, where he said his channel was getting bigger. He was getting more people in there. People were super chatting him, and he was like, "Oh, if I got myself a new computer, I really need a new computer. So if I get myself a new computer, I'll be able to give you so much more content. I'll be able to do this.
Mhm.
I'll be able to do that, and I'll be." So in the space of like 24 hours, he got 2 grand to go
So
out.
did he get the computer and did he not deliver, or how did that work
He
out?
got the computer. He didn't deliver because he hasn't got the sense or the intelligence to work out how to use a Mac.
Uh, you know what? Those Macs are they're different.
They
They're
are
like
different. I've
Apple.
got one. I've had one for
Yeah.
years. I
I haven't
use
gotten it.
it.
I still haven't gotten it.
I use mine for my artwork.
Mm,
So,
yeah.
I've got lots and lots of, art software on it. I know how to use a Mac, and I knew that
Mhm.
that idiot wouldn't be able to use it, and he can't. He can't use it. So he's got an expensive piece of kit there that he's managed to grovel for from his members, and he doesn't know how to use it. He's still, and he never upped his content or anything like that. So as far
Okay.
as I'm concerned, no, he didn't deliver. He didn't deliver what he promised. So then there was that one, and then what else has happened to him? Oh, and then he had something happened. What was it? And he needed money for food, so then he'd start, grifting for food, and then he'd do like these cooking shows, but he'd make sure that he'd get the money from. I mean, honestly, you got to say that the guy's good at grifting. Okay, probably because he's got no shame, but he would grift money off his viewers to go and buy food so that he could come back and incinerate in his own kitchen. So
Hmm.
that was the other grift.
I
Another
get what you're
grift.
saying, Jim, but I have to say that I feel like a lot of these things that are quote unquote grifts are just him monetizing his hobby.
No, darling. Well, okay. Well, you can think that.
And
I don't.
I mean, and then I understand the critique of being a 6 foot, man being accosted by a woman and all of that. But I wasn't there, and I don't know.
That's what a
I
grifter is, though. A
I hear
grifter is
you though.
somebody
It's
who,
like being a chronic victim, or listen,
yeah.
one of my favorite people was talking about this. This was about like 8 months ago or so. And she was saying how she came out with like a series of videos talking about, basically how we can't just like ruminate or just kind of like sulk in victimhood, victim mentality, things of that nature. And I don't know, it's really interesting to think about because it's really your mindset. It's like the whole mind over matter, where however you think or whatever it is what it is. It's just like it's kind of like the placebo effect, or whatever the case might be. So it's just interesting to see like your take on Husty, where I don't really know much about him. I just kind of like Kiki in the mornings on Twitch and things like that. And I'm not saying, that what like I don't disagree with you because that's your experience, that's what you see out of it. But at the same time, it also kind of seems like, well, without having all the facts, it's easy to come up to, to come to that conclusion.
Yeah. So then I've said something like, "Oh, these fools need to get a job." Tragic is the right name for sure.
Do you know why his name is Tragic?
Because he's tragic.
Is that what he said?
I don't know. Oh,
Oh,
that
okay.
was the other one I think I blocked. No Laboo. I don't know
Would you
what that has
No.
to do with anything. She
What
said
does
something.
Ninnaboo say?
I don't know because I blocked her.
Oh,
So all her other things have gone.
Jen, when you block people, are you like completely done and you never
Yeah,
unblock them? Or
yeah,
okay.
done, dusted, forget it. Don't speak to me again. Don't mention my name. Done.
Yeah. I try not to be that way. But no
This
comment.
Chase Lounge, she was being a bit gobby, but I was playing with her.
Okay.
So she was like, of course not, Jan. You just like to run your big mouth. Well, there's no lies there. No lies detected. When I'm trolling, I do like to run my big mouth. So I
And see,
wasn't
I think
aware.
the thing is people don't know in text form when you're trolling and when you're not.
Pardon?
I said sometimes I think the issue might be that when you're like when it's just text, it's hard to know when someone's
Oh yes,
trolling or when they're not. Because I know
yes,
sometimes I catch myself like, hold on, and you're trolling right now. Like,
yeah, I do, but I only do it in certain ones. In certain
mm-hmm.
chats. So anyway, this is what I'm trying to, understand. So I wasn't aware of what Gigi said. Obviously, I understand you wanting to defend yourself, Monty, but why bring these people on? And then there's this AJ Lair who hates me with a passion. She put, Jan, maybe you should think before you speak then. Nope, I never do. Um, and then I put
Like,
absolutely, they all start GoFundMe's and use them as an ATM machines. Um, but I mean, these people are doctors and live in the bowels of the attic
but I
dwellers.
think that's kind of the point, Jan. If they were completely reckless, they would be using their own money with this nonsense. They know to a certain extent that this is frivolous, you know? So that's why he doesn't, he's saying, "Oh yeah, I'll match to a certain extent, probably what he's willing to actually give up on this to gamble away with." And talking about Gigi on his 15K goal. And, he's saying that, yeah, 15K might be a lot, but with extra, he'll donate it or do something quote unquote responsible with it. But it's like if he was really thinking about this or he was really going to do something, he would have the charity picked out. He would know how much it's going to cost. Things. It it wouldn't have an undefined date. They know this is a bunch of nonsense. It's not complete nonsense because obviously, he's gonna find there's real lawyers involved. These are serious topics, things of that nature, of course.
Mm-hmm.
But when it comes to just like I guess, a high level assessment of everything that Gigi's talking about with these various crimes and things like he's not saying anything. He's not doing any research. He doesn't even know.
Yeah, I
He's talking
don't
about
know.
Jessica Messica, and he doesn't know that she has multiple children. Get out of here. You know what I
Does
mean? Like, he
she?
just yeah.
Does she? Oh my
I'm
god.
pretty sure she has 2 kids.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, it's like,
Best
I
I
don't really
don't say
follow her
anything
like
about
that.
that because then I'll be accused of whatever. But I have my thoughts. I have my
Well,
thoughts on Jessica
I was
Messica.
listening to Miami talk about Jessica as a mother, and I don't know where I fit on that spectrum or on that argument because I don't know. Like I think with Jessica, we're obviously witnessing in real time somebody at the beginning of her sobriety, of her getting her life on track.
But she needs to stay offline then. Stay offline. Concentrate on
Mm,
what's important.
she-
Why are you on
Everything
there
is
acting the
online.
fool and acting the
Everything
maggot?
is online. This is where all the crazies are.
Well, that's what
We're
I think.
attracted
It
to each
shouldn't be
other. We're just trying
online.
to have fun.
Well, that's where I think it shouldn't be online.
Yeah.
If
No, I
she's a
hear you,
mother,
Jan.
do her kids live with her? Probably not.
I don't think so. But the thing is, I
Right
don't I
then.
don't really follow her all that much. But the thing is, it's like she's found herself in a situation, right? She
What situation has she found herself in?
just whatever it is that her mental state and her life has unfolded to where she is right now with the DUI or wherever that is in influx, with her needing to
Mm.
be on or in inpatient, with these various relationships with strangers on the internet, with just
Oh
with
my
this
God.
whole quote unquote Jessica Messica persona, YouTube and everything, right? This is just where she is. And I don't necessarily think that she like doesn't deserve to be on the internet because of it. And I know a part of me
The
is a little
internet isn't a
messy
prize.
because I'm
You know,
enjoying it.
the
It's
internet isn't a prize, that somebody
mhm.
deserves. I feel quite honestly that people should get their house in order before coming online. And, she's obviously, troubled in whatever way. Her behavior is unacceptable, not only offline, but also online. And I feel that because of that, she shouldn't be online. She needs to sort
Well,
herself
I
out.
disagree. What does it mean? What does she need to sort? What does it mean to get her life in order?
Well, obviously, she's got this court case coming up about, driving while under the influence. She's also, I
Which is
understand,
debatable.
she's
And we
a
don't have all the facts. She said that it was listen, I am not a criminal. I have never been in court. You know what I mean? Like I don't have any pending cases, none of the case, right? But in my limited interactions, I don't disagree her telling of the event.
I
She's
think,
talking to, yeah, sorry, go ahead.
maybe I look at it as an older woman. I can't help it because I am an older woman.
Mhm.
But from what I say, I don't like this. And it's been happening for years now. And it's not just online, it's on television, it's on, reality TV, where the worst behaved people are the ones that are rewarded for it, for bad behavior. And I don't like that. I'm sorry, call me old fashioned, but
No,
I
I
just
understand what
don't
you're
like
saying.
that. I brought up 4 kids, and none of them have ever been in trouble with the police, ever.
Mhm.
So I see no, and I don't think I'm the best mum that's walked this earth. Of course I'm not. I've done,
The thing is,
I've
Jen,
made
I don't
mistakes.
you don't have to be the best mom at all. But you don't have to be a bad mom either. That's the thing. You have somebody who is predisposed to certain actions, certain reactions, right? And if they don't have the necessary X, Y, and Z that they need to manage themselves, they can do the best they can, but they're still kind of come up against authority figures and things like that who might just be having a bad day and not be in the mood to have the extra patience that it takes with somebody who is misdiagnosed, underdiagnosed, resourced, however you want to frame it. Because what I heard from Jessica is that it was a big misunderstanding for the most part. Like was she completely in the right? No,
Didn't
because
she
the
refuse
smart
to do
thing,
the didn't she refuse to do the test? She refused to
r-
blow in the machine or whatever it is.
right? But the thing
Well,
is,
then she
should
has
she,
to face the consequences. There's no
no, I'm
excuse
not
for
this.
that.
I'm not disagreeing with all of that or any of that.
Mm.
At all. Like, I get that. But the thing is, it's like it's nuance. And the fact that she's putting herself out there or she's allowing herself to be out here to a certain extent, to tell her story and to kind of like advocate for herself and others that aren't in the position. Because the thing is, it's like when I look at this, people always want to point and say what they could do and should do and whatever. And if Jessica was at the place where she didn't even want to be alive anymore, her being supported in this way isn't like the worst thing ever. I just think that there's a lot worse that could be going on. And to be honest, it doesn't seem like what she is doing is all that terrible. You know what I mean? With even within the realm of the YouTube dramas and everything. So it's like I get it that it because from what I'm seeing, it's like should she have been on the road at all after drinking? Knowing what it is, whatever. But people have lives to live. Like maybe she had to get home, or like I don't know X, Y, and Z. They led up to all these, whatever. But the fact that she's on the internet just trying to commune with people and X, Y, and Z. I don't think that's where we should, because if it wasn't for her, then what would we be talking about? What's going on? It's like she is entertainment
Yeah,
to a certain.
I do think a lot of it is a generational thing, and I accept what you're saying. And
Mhm.
there are parts of it that I can understand the way you look at it like that. But I must say that I think it is a generational thing, and it's something that I don't think I'll really be able to understand if I'm honest. But
Mhm.
from
I
what I
understand where you're
see,
coming from. You're the silent generation. Is that Generation X or
um, I don't
are
know. I
you
don't know.
boomer?
I don't know what you mean by that. But what
Well,
I
I'm a
mean is that
millennial. I'm
for you,
just trying to understand.
I'm a boomer.
Yeah,
I'm a
a
boomer.
boomer. Oh, okay. Because I think that's
Yeah.
the same generation as my mom.
Mm.
So and I don't know. I'm just trying to wrap my mind around maybe the differences too, because it's like I'm starting to understand boomers in a different light as I'm getting older and I'm becoming part of the older generation, right? So
You're catching
it's
up with us.
right. It feels like it. So it's kind of like I get what you're saying because this Gen Z and the alphas, I'm just like trying to trying to catch up and keep up.
Listen, I have a lot to say. I have a lot to say about what I believe is the right thing and what is the wrong
Hmm.
thing. And as I say, it's a generational thing. But trust me, as a kid, as somebody growing up, I didn't always do the right thing. I didn't always yeah, I mean, there were times when I got in myself into certain situations that I shouldn't have found myself in. But having said that, I
But the
think
thing is,
the fact
Jan,
that there's social media now, and
mhm.
everybody thinks that they need to record everything and they need to record their bad behavior is
But
not a
that's what I'm
good
saying.
thing.
I
It's not
don't
a good
think it's
thing,
bad or
though.
good. I think that's just the world that we live in now to where, and I hear what you're saying, where it like this wouldn't be half of the issues that it is if it wasn't for the fact that it's on the internet and the internet's for forever.
Yeah,
100% I don't disagree with that, right? But
yeah.
that's where we are. So what do we do with that? Because it's not going away. And it's only going to become more and more transparent, I believe, with like Web3 and cryptocurrency, things like that, where with the AI, we're not going to be able to just cancel people. Like we see that. It just doesn't work that way. Because you can't just hang up the phone and never talk to them again because you live in a little town, so you move across the country and it's like, who were they? You know what I mean?
Yeah, but it is
Like,
possible to do that. It is possible to do that, and I do that. But, I
but
mean,
it's a
that could
lot
be
more
because
difficult in today's time and age. And I don't think it's really feasible like it once was. And
oh, I
I don't,
think it is. I think it
yeah.
is.
Well, I think those are the kind of growing pains that we're facing now to say like, hey, what do we do with situations where you can't just like there is no delete, right? You have to process these emotions in these situations in a healthy way. Like you can't just say pretend like these issues aren't happening because they're right in front of our face unfolding.
See, I think there's a major difference between the Americans and Britain, and I think the way we're brought up is very different, um, compared to the way the Americans are brought up. Um, but I mean, maybe I don't really wanna go too deeply into that because I don't want to, come across as, um, You know,
You can go
is
ahead and just say it,
true.
Jen. I'm not gonna be offended because I can somewhat, well, I mean, I can imagine maybe where you're going. Um,
I think
across the board, yeah.
everything in America is bigger, louder,
Mhm.
brasher, and not necessarily in a good way. I
Mhm.
think in England and Britain as a whole, we tend to sometimes, you know, it is brushed under the carpet, as is racism. Um, but you know, the English sort of way of dealing with things is very different to the American ways. And you know, I hate to say it, I hate to bring this into the conversation, but I think this has got something to do with it too. The fact that, you know, in 2023, anybody in America or in certain states can walk around with a gun is absolutely abhorrent to me. You know, it means
100%
that you
agree.
can't have arguments, you know, you can't have road rage, for fear of having your blooming head blown off, and to live in that kind of society, I just I cannot imagine it, and I praise the Lord that I'm not there, and I praise the Lord that my kids aren't there, because I just think, you know, and the more I
It's
see
madness.
I
Yeah.
know. And the more I see of Americans online, the more I'm like loath to travel to America on
Mm.
so many levels. Now, that doesn't mean that I think I'm any better than the Americans. It just means that we have a different thought process to you know, to the Americans. And getting back to what is and is acceptable about being put online, uh, I just think it's just gone so far. I mean, sometimes I go on Twitter and luckily it doesn't come up on my page, but sometimes I might be, you know, clicked on somebody else and then something else will come up and I'm like absolutely appalled by what I'd seen, because it's
Mhm.
like, who was there with their camera filming that? You know, why were they filming that? I saw one of somebody, they were like in a restaurant and they were filming for some reason, some drunk at the front, and there's a homeless man sitting on the floor, and this guy was standing over him, and he was, I think he was either drugged up or he'd been drinking, and he took a gun out and just blew this guy away. And I was like,
Wow.
it's just awful. And, you know, going
Mhm.
back, I do feel very strongly about negativity being made so public. I hate it because it's not, nothing good will come of it. Nothing good will come of it. So Jessica acting, you know, the way she does online is just such a bad example to other women. I mean, just being proud of the fact that she, you know, sends body parts, you know, pictures of her body parts to randoms online and thinks that, you know, that's okay, that's an okay thing to do. It's not an okay thing to do. Have a bit of, you know, a bit of self-respect. And I also feel that, you know, it's like with Foodie. If she didn't have that camera in front of her, she'd be a nobody in this world. And quite rightly so, because she doesn't contribute anything. What has she contributed? You know?
Mm.
And yeah,
Mhm.
as I say, it might be a generational thing. It might be because I'm an old biddy. I don't know. But, you know, I brought up my kids and, you know, and I'm close to them and I'm close to my grandkids. And I'm just so grateful that none of them have ever acted in that way, because they know what's right and what's wrong. And, you know, I see nothing funny about somebody who behaves badly publicly. I just think it's an embarrassment. I don't want to see it. And that's one of the reasons, you know, I don't like some of the
Yeah.
reality programs, because It's over here we've had reality programs, where the person that's acted the worst possible way, completely out of, awful, has become a star. What the hell is that
Mhm.
about?
I
Why?
think that it goes into our like human nature of like the whole dopamine and like we're wired to want the excitement, to want the drama and all of that kind of stuff. Like obviously, right? But it's not the most healthy. Like we have to have a check and balance for that kind of stuff. And we don't have enough of it.
Yeah, it's like, "Hi, Dawn, how are you, darling? The loudest and most wrong get the most attention." Yes. Yes, they do,
Hi,
and
Don.
I don't like that. I find that really uncomfortable, and I think maybe it's because I've worked hard to sort of bring my kids up with a certain standard, of manners and
Mhm.
how they hold themselves, how they act in public, and everything. And I mean, out of all of them, I react the worst in public. I have to say, but
'Cause
then
you
I
taught
think,
them so well.
yeah, yeah, I was
Hey,
too
Don,
busy
can I
trying to
ask
teach
you
them. Do you know what I
yeah,
mean?
Don, where are you? Are you in America as well? And if you don't mind sharing, like, what part of the country? And I
I'm gonna
100%
go and get
understand
myself
where
a drink, Edna.
okay.
So you carry
Yeah,
on
go right
talking.
ahead.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, and the loudest and most wrong get the most attention. I love that phrase, just loud and wrong. And but the thing is, Dallas, Texas. Oh, okay, thank you. And the thing is, it's like we have a lot of loud and wrong people, but I think it's also like once, what do you do once you realize you're loud and wrong? And I think somebody like Jessica, at least from what I've seen, she's willing to take a step back to do some reflection and to say, you know what, I apologize, or this is why I think I was right, or this is why I think I was wrong, and to move forward. And these aren't facilitated talks or videos. YouTube isn't stepping in and holding anybody to account. We see the foolishness that they allow to go unchecked on this platform. And I think it's just one of those things where when it talks about being the loudest and the most wrong, some of these creators just don't fit the bill. They are louder, more wrong people, and I just think we should start with them. Jessica does have a bit of humility, just bad judgment at times. And that's the point where, I'm not saying that I agree with her choices and the way, she handles things or whatever the case might be. But there's a reason why we're all here conjugated together, right? And it's like I like when she was like, "Thanks, Monty, for bringing bringing up the court case." I probably should figure out what's going on with that next week or next month. It happens. Things, like of course she should keep up on that type of stuff, but when you're going through it, it kind of slipped through the cracks a little bit. So it's just kind of funny in this weird way how Monty maybe like held her accountable. And I think it doesn't come across that apparent as we're going through it. But when we're able to take a step back and to say like, hey, this is like when you kind of put a different frame of mind on it, maybe
I do get
you
what
can
you're
point that out.
saying.
Yeah,
I
thank you,
I
Jan. I'm
do
like,
Yeah, no, I do get what you're saying. I mean, in certain circumstances, then, yeah, I agree with you. But I think my issue, and I don't want to go all preachy again, um, my issue, I think, with somebody, I don't like loud and foul. I don't mind
hmm
loud and creative or loud and talented. Do you know what I mean? I think there's a difference for me.
absolutely, yeah.
And that could just be, you know, the way I was brought up. I mean, I was brought up with so many manners, it's ridiculous.
Mhm. And who's to say that that's necessarily the best or the healthy or whatever way, right? Because
Right,
yeah, for
maybe.
your children, they're doing well, right? But that's what I'm saying. That worked for you, but a- and I mean, obviously, that's not really working all that well for Jessica, not having that. But at the same time, it doesn't. I don't necessarily think it makes one right, one wrong, because it's like the whole society around it, where on one hand, Jessica can thrive in certain situations, but she can't in others because, like, on this little corner of the YouTube, she was able to come in, and I think she still, has room to grow and to do well and to do whatever she wants to do here, right? But at the same time, you can't just be loud and crazy in every situation, like just using the whole DUI, talking to the police. Like she got hyped, they got hyped. Now it's turned into this year-long thing where, yeah, because of where she was, she ended up needing inpatient and she was, so it's probably all gonna wrap up in a cute little bow to where it's not gonna be on her record the way she's saying it, right? She's just jumping to the end. And you have somebody like Monty being like, hold up, that's what you say, but do we know that? Because this is where we're at right now. And it's like at the end of the day, it probably will be fine. And we're just seeing it in real time. And I understand somebody like you being like, we do not need to see all her business online, X, Y, and Z. But
That's right.
this is just real life and this is what happens. And there might be somebody out there who in a similar situation who needs to know like my life isn't ending because I got a DUI.
Yeah, I like what Dawn says here. Her grandma was a big believer in having shame when your behavior is shameful. I agree. Motivates us to improve. Yes, I think it does. I think it does. But I think, there's a word that I learned, I think when I was at school that I really like the sound of it because I'm a bit of a wordsmith. And that is anti-disestablishmentarianism, which is basic
Anti-disestablishment
Arianism.
Arianism.
Yeah,
That is $1 billion word for you, Jan. Go
that's a
ahead.
nice word, isn't it?
Yeah,
And
that's a whole mouthful.
that's obvious. That's apparently people that are anti-establishment. Now, in today's world, they've even got mental illness named, called after it. Oh, well, they've got what is it? What is it?
Anti-disestablish.
Anti-authoritarian disorder or something, and I'm like, "Oh,
Oh,
for God's
okay.
sake, they just don't like being told when they're wrong," you know? That's my view
Well,
on that.
that goes into my whole issue with like mental health and the healthcare system, where they're so focused on the illness and
Yeah.
drilling it down to a state to where it's like, what are we even talking about? Like I'm kind of I'm a higher level with it where I'm just kind of like either you're well or you're not. I know there's more layers to it than that. But
Mhm.
when we're going into some of these distinctions, I think it's unnecessary. It's like you're getting to the point to where it it really doesn't matter because it doesn't matter if you're this brand of crazy or this strand, you still need help. What is the help going to be?
Exactly. Right, well, I'm gonna finish on this, right? See what you've got to say about this, okay? This is one of my, Hussey Chronicles, okay? So, I'd like your opinion on this.
Introducing
Okay.
the Seat
Well,
Cushion,
without the
a
ads.
revolutionary cushion that
It's
will
what is it?
transform your
6
sitting
minutes long.
experience. People everywhere around the world are
So
Is that Hussy?
yeah.
No.
Oh, no, that wasn't Hussey. This was my old, intern. Right, I want to explain. I was at my daughter's house. Okay, that's what I'm doing here. So I used to do these Hussy Chronicles. Okay.
Sasha.
Oh, did you, Sasha? You coward! Cowardy, cowardy custard. Right, I'm just trying to teach Edna about Hussy. Okay, let's go. This is how you do it, Hussy. Now I'm all dying up. Stop it. We wanna party. We wanna party. 'Cause it's my birthday. Who has a birthday?
Who's in the background?
And celebrates it online. And dances to music like this. Sorry, what did you say?
I said, who's in the background in the window?
They're my grandkids.
Oh,
They're
that's
my grandkids.
adorable.
They were there. They're just used to me. They don't take any notice.
I know. Looks like they're having fun with you.
Hussy, were you there? Were you all there? With your glass of wine and your all your bits and bobbins. Did he have a good time? I don't know, because that video is not shown in my country. For some reason, I've got this thing that comes up that says not shown in this country because of copyright. Yay! Did somebody not tell him that you can't just play any old music on YouTube? You have to use copyright-free music. So, all that dancing was for nothing. It was for nothing. So I thought we could do another free Jan's advice, especially for Hussy. Right, blusher. Blusher. Doesn't have to be an expensive blusher. Any blusher will do. So we dip our brush in. See, Hussy? Bit of brush. My granddaughter sat there just looking at me like, oh my God, Nan's gone off again. So here we go, Hussy. This is what we do. What we don't do is wear a wig that covers all that part of our face, so that all showing, the only thing that's showing is this, with the nose, his rather bulbous nose, squashed between his glasses. Who does that? Who wears their glasses like that? And then with a wig and all the hair, no. You've got to go the whole hog. If you want to portray yourself as a glamorous lady, then you have to go the whole hog. Can't sit there in a You can't sit there in a lumberjack shirt with a bright pink wig. No, it doesn't work. Sort yourself out, man. Okay, let's ask ourselves why a 50-year-old man, a blind 50-year-old man, spends way too much time attacking women of a certain age. Why is that? Misogyny. That's the first word that comes into mind. Nastiness, hatefulness, somebody who doesn't have love in their life. It must be. Is it because he wants to be one? It could be. Oh, yeah, don't worry about the drilling. I'm only filming. Yeah, don't worry about me. Jealousy. Listen, you are never going to be a lady, ever. You're always going to be a bitter, twisted old man that nobody likes. Where's all your friends? Why weren't you out there going to a party with your friends? Because you don't have any. And you know why you don't have any? Because you're a nasty, nasty little man. You're right there, love. Yeah. Loneliness. Lonely, so lonely. He's lonely in his little box up in the sky in New York City. I'm at my daughter's house and it's all going off here. That is one of my Hussy Chronicles.
Oh, I have. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Go on. What have you got to say about it? Come on.
I just think that I don't know. The word that comes to mind is it feels a little mean
Oh, good.
because it.
That makes me
I don't. I feel
pleased.
like.
That makes me pleased. It's meant to be mean.
It just feels like you're pointing out all the man's fault, and it's
But
like that's
I
the whole
am.
point.
But I am, and that's because he is mean. I'm not telling any lies, though.
Yeah, but then it's like, well, okay, so is it helpful for you to tell him how mean he
I
is
don't
or
do it
whatever in
to
a new
help
way?
him, darling. Why would I do it to
Uh,
help him?
well,
Why
because if
would I
you
do
don't
it to
like the
help
meanness,
him?
wouldn't it be nice to, I don't know.
Right, that's British humour. Yes. See, Sasha gets it. That's British humour. Right, I'm going to play this for Dawn because Dawn said she likes this. It's your fault, Dawn. Right, okay, let's do this one. This is Hussy Cat. See, now what you don't realise is a lot of time and effort gets put into these, you know.
Okay.
A
These are
lot
your
of time.
videos, Hussy Cat, or his? Wait, what do you
Uh,
mean? What's new, Hussy Cat? Oh, okay.
Okay, this is when he lost his channel and he came back as his cat. He gave his cat the channel. So his channel at the time
Oh,
was called Sophie the Cat or something. Something
and
naughty.
this is basically bandy baiting, correct?
Yes. Yes. But anyway, let's do this. Makes me laugh anyway.
Hello, everybody. This is Hazi.
Hello, Jan's residents. What? What do you mean he's back? He was cancelled, though. He's come back as a what? He's come back as a cat. Oh my God.
You guys, I've missed you very, very much.
No, love. What you've missed is the opportunity to beg for money. Because let's face it, that's what your account was for. It was just a way of begging money from people who really should know better.
It's been a couple of days. There's been a lot happening. As you guys already know, things have been a disaster.
I'm sorry, Ken, but how long did you think you'd be able to continue screaming abuse at women on your channel? How long? Let's be honest, you had no other content. There was nothing. There was nothing comedic. There was nothing of any substance on your channel. And that's why it was taken down, because of terms of service. It's all well and good you saying that it was like a targeted attack. No, it wasn't. YouTube looked at your content and saw that it was unacceptable on their platform. And wherever else you go, if you keep doing the same thing, you will once again lose your channel. You'd already lost it once before anyway. So stop blaming everybody else and look at yourself.
But don't worry, I am fine. I'm very fine. Okay. A lot has happened in 2 days.
Tell us about it, Stud.
I don't want to give out too much information.
No, of course you don't.
But I know you guys have been very concerned. I've been getting flooded with emails, and it's very hard for me to respond to each and every one. It's easier for me to just make a video.
Yeah, you do that.
Get back to all of you.
Yeah.
At one time.
Yeah.
So what has happened to me is definitely harassment.
Really?
Okay, hands down.
Okay.
It's cyberbullying and it is harassment.
Show it.
And I'm not going to go for it.
Nope.
At all.
Yeah. Take a look at yourself.
To the authorities. I have reported these people.
Yeah.
And
which
I am
people?
Going to legally.
Yeah.
Do whatever I have to do to defend myself and keep this from happening to other people.
This will be really interesting.
This hater nation is very dangerous. They're very toxic.
How are they dangerous?
And they don't belong on YouTube.
No, neither do you, lovely. Oh,
we have something
lovely.
Our Constitution, freedom of speech.
Yeah, freedom of speech.
And they try to silence you.
But not hate speech.
And they don't allow you to speak your truth.
Your truth.
And they can dish it out, but they cannot take it. On a daily basis, they abuse two content creators.
You have been abusing people.
When someone makes a reaction to their content,
you're talking
they immediately
BS.
Go and try to strike it, mass flag it, make people.
Oh, you're getting on my nerves now.
Mass flag it. And you're gonna get what you deserve too when I block your ass. That's it. Dwayne, I live right next to the police department. I'm gonna take a walk. And don't forget, my friend is a police officer for NYPD. Cyber crime report.
Oh,
let me write that down.
Yeah, go on. You go and write your report. Go on.
Cyber.
Make sure you write it in big. Remember, you are blind. You want to be able to see it.
But they're not going to hold me down. I have always told you from the beginning, I'm not intimidated by any of these low-life scums. They all are a piece of shit.
Oh.
Okay? Each and every one of them.
Really?
I'm not listing any names. They know who they are, and you know who they are.
Oh.
What they have done to me is completely uncalled for.
You've done it to yourself, you idiot.
People know this. Each and every one of you know this.
You did it to yourself.
I'm doing what I want to do on my channel, and I have every right to do it.
Yeah. Will you carry on then without your channel?
I'm going to be on Rumble. I will keep you posted.
Rumble.
There. I have an account. My name is Miss Hussey.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to continue doing whatever I'm doing on YouTube.
Good luck with that.
No one is going to stop me. They can continue to do what they want.
Yeah, you get
Just
feisty.
know, the police are aware.
Yeah.
The harassment is there.
Right.
And their names are all given to the police. I have all of their information.
Good for you.
And so does the police department.
Let's see how that goes.
So I'm just letting you guys know, if you want to continue to harass,
who's
you have to
harassing?
deal with the police. I don't have to do anything. They will.
Yeah.
I hope everybody stays well. I will be back again tomorrow with another video.
Oh, please don't.
To all my supporters, to everybody that has sent me emails, my GoFundMe, my PayPal, my Cash App.
How long is this channel going to stay up where he pretends to be a cat?
You are better than family.
He doesn't even look like a cat.
Each and every one of you.
I'm glad my cat doesn't look like this.
Always remember to take care
of
yourself.
Shut up. Oh dear. A lot of information packed into that.
It sure was. That was fun. That was I mean, I get your critiques, but I just feel like it's kind of I don't know, I have more of a live and let live kind
Yeah,
of
I know you do, darling. That's why
yeah.
we get on so well.
So it is what it is. But I mean, I hear what you're saying. It's just
Yeah,
know.
he's a grifter, darling. But you know, everyone sees different things in different people. But yeah, I just see a grifter and a complete numpty, as we would say over here. He's just a
Oh,
numpty.
okay.
And on that note, I want to say thank you, Edna. You're so, yeah, I always enjoy having you on here.
Well,
You're
thank you,
a
Jen. It's
great
been
one to
lovely speaking
chat
with you again.
to. And I guess you never watched. Yeah, Dawn saying, I guess you never watched him. Do you know
Right.
it
Yeah, sorry,
yeah.
go ahead.
No, I was gonna say some people swallow it, you know, some people believe everything that comes out of his mouth. I mean, I have to say the other day, and I love Timber. I love Timber. She's lovely. But we had sort of crossed words because I happened to say in the chat that Hussey had said that he was, you know, in the court, he had described himself as gender fluid. And I was like, he's not gender fluid. He's not gender fluid. And she was adamant that he was. And
Who is she?
pardon?
I didn't hear who you're speaking about. Who is she?
I'm talking about Timber.
Oh, okay. So
Timber
this
was
was in Timber's
adamant.
chat?
Yeah, this was in Timber's
Okay.
chat. And we, you know, we disagreed about it. And I said, in my opinion, there's no way Hussey is gender fluid. So before we go, actually, I'm going to check what it says on Google. I'm not going to ask my Alexa. Right, gender fluid. What is an example for gender fluid? Okay, let's see. Now, let's share this so you know I'm not cheating. Right, okay.
While you're doing that, okay. I heard that Chef Leftovers has a new video, so I was just thinking about that,
Oh, that's
and I see it
interesting.
now.
What, do you wanna
Sorry, I
watch
don't mean
it?
to
What, do you
see
wanna
what
watch it?
we can. It's not that I don't care about the gender fluid or anything. It's just one of those things where I feel like it's kind of a touchy subject, and I'm not gender fluid, so I don't have much to say about it. Sasha, not to put you on the spot, but you seem to play around with sexuality a lot more.
Well, I
You have something to
understood.
add?
Yeah, but I understood that, you know, I hope Sasha doesn't mind me saying, but I understood that Sasha was a gay man, and
Right.
which is the same as what Hussey is. Okay. Now, the
But
definition
sexuality and gender are two
is
different
different.
things. 'Cause
It's different.
right.
Yeah. So, what is an example of, right, for example, a person who was designated female on their original birth certificate may identify as a girl until adolescence, then identify as a boy for the rest of their lives. Well, that's not hussy. That isn't hussy.
So my understanding of being gender fluid is a little different as well, just because I know there's some people who kind of like wake up and it's like, do I feel male or female today? And they kind of go based off of just like the vibe. Sasha, okay, so Sasha says I am gay, but I don't cross dress. You couldn't tell I am if you saw me. I'm a regular guy. So my understanding would be that being gender fluid would be maybe if you did play around with like wigs, makeup, things that aren't typical to your assigned gender or assumed gender.
Yeah, I think it means also that they do identify themselves as being female. And from what I've seen of hussy, this
Well,
isn't the
that's what I'm
case with
saying.
him.
That's what I disagree with because that's kind of falling into the binary of only two genders, where I don't. I think part of the fluidity of gender is that there's more than two. There's a spectrum.
Right, okay. I don't, yeah, we shouldn't really go too deeply into this, but I'll just read what it says here. Some people identify as one gender their whole life. For others, it's more dynamic, and their gender identity shifts over time. These people might refer to themselves as gender fluid, which means their gender can change. Some, but not all, gender fluid people are transgender. Now, what I would argue as far as Hussey goes, and that's just my opinion, is that he doesn't change his gender like right. If he went to gay clubs, right, he only puts on the wig and the makeup when he goes clubbing as a gay
Hmm.
man. He doesn't go clubbing as a dresser. Now, if he went clubbing as a cross-dresser, which doesn't just mean putting a wig on, okay, to go as a different gender, his whole persona would be female. He would be wearing female clothes. But yes, as
But that's
Sasha
what I'm saying.
says,
I think
but he still represents as a guy. That's it. Sasha gets what I'm trying to say. Thanks, Sasha.
no, I get what you're saying, Jan. It's just that I think that Hussy, I'm putting words in Hussy's mouth at this point. So let that be
Mhm.
known. But the way I see it is that it just seems like you're speaking from the binary idea of genders where it's male and female, where his might be a little bit more lax, where it's not the necessary like formal language of pronouns being like the xi, like where they go into like different pronouns and all of that, where it's just he feels like a guy that is wearing a wig and glasses and things like like just how you have women who they identify as women, but they're tomboys, or like I feel like it's maybe more accepted as female presenting, as a woman. Where for men, if they don't look male, then it's kind of a problem. Timber,
Hi,
who
Timber. Nice to
who are
see
you
you,
to
darling.
who are you
Right.
to say he doesn't change? Maybe that is as much as he feels comfortable with. It is up to him, not you, though. Yeah. Don's hug box. Did he say
Yeah.
he was cross-dressing has effect on gender? He brought the hat and wig when he came to YouTube to impersonate his former housekeeper, I thought.
Yes. Yes.
Mm.
Right.
Okay.
And this is where I'm coming from. And, I don't want to argue with Timber about it. If she thinks differently about it, then that's entirely up to her. I mean, I only brought it up because we were talking about
Yeah, of
Hussey.
course. It's not an argument. It's just I think it's
Yeah.
interesting because I think it kind of falls into like the conversation with peace that nobody wants to touch. But It's just kind of like, well, are you really? Well, hold on, let me clear my throat.
Yeah, it's like, right. My issue with Hussey is that from very early on, when I first watched him, I saw him as a fraud. And that's why I used to do those videos, because I wanted to point out the fact that he was a fraud. Okay, that was the main thing. Now,
Right.
I personally believe that Hussey, because I've heard it out of his mouth, started dressing up online as a character. Hussey, Miss Glory, whoever you used to, you want to call her, he used to dress up as his black housekeeper. Now, one of the reasons I didn't like it is because I find, as a black woman, his depiction of an angry black woman, I find that
Say it,
offensive.
Jan. Right? Because there's
I
a whole
find that
conversation around
offensive.
black women and gay
Yes.
men. I
He
hear
dressed
you.
up and he said, "Oh, I only wanted to pay homage to my my black housekeeper." Right, okay. So why, if you're paying homage to your housekeeper, why are you coming across as an angry, foul-mouthed black woman? That's what I have an issue with.
And that's
Now,
a very valid point. And I
thank
think
you.
that can be true outside of or alongside concurrently, however you want to put it, with the idea of him being gender fluid. And I think that goes into like Timber Timberly's point. She said, I think differently because my child is dealing with it. My
Yeah, I
daughter
was
feels
gonna
both
come down.
male.
I was gonna come
Okay,
to
go
that
ahead.
in a
Mhm.
second. I was gonna come down to that. And I want Timber to understand that I am not being ignorant to the trials and tribulations that people in that situation have to go through. Trust me, I feel for anybody that feels differently in that way, and I can
Right.
understand you being upset about it. And I'm sorry, Timber, genuinely, I'm sorry if you felt that I was in any way being offensive to your daughter. No way in hell was I doing that. I see Hussey as a completely different person. I don't see him as gender fluid, and the reason I don't is because I know that what his reasons were for dressing up in that outfit. It had
Mhm.
nothing to do with his gender, it had nothing to do with his sexuality, and I think it was only because his viewers started saying that he looked nice dressed up, that he started to go to gay clubs dressed up.
Mm.
It
Mhm.
had nothing to do with being gender fluid. Absolutely nothing. Right,
Well,
let me
that's
address
where
Simba.
sorry, go ahead.
She
Yeah, go
presents
ahead,
as
sorry.
female, but only because people expect that since she was born. Oh, right, okay. Okay, I can understand that. I can fully understand that. My daughter feels both male and female. That's yeah, I can truly understand that, Timber, and please accept my apologies if I hurt you in any way. I honestly didn't mean to. Honestly. I have no idea about that part. I'm talking about sexuality or gender. Yeah, yeah. I can accept your anger with race. It's completely understandable in that area, 100%. Yes, you do. I understand that better now. Yeah, yeah. Honestly, honey, if I'd have known, I maybe would not have laboured my point so much when we had that discussion. But I know that you're a fan of Hussey, and I can respect that, but you need to
I don't
know.
necessarily
I
think it
think
has
it's
to be
important
about
that you
being a
understand where
fan.
I'm coming from, you know? Sorry,
Right.
Edna?
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think it's necessarily about being a fan because, I don't mean to put any words in Timber's mouth, but it's like I don't want to come across like I'm a hussy stan, like like I'm just ride or die for hussy because that's not what I'm
Yeah.
trying to do. But it's just that because honestly, I didn't know his housekeeper was a black woman. So when you
Yeah.
bring up that point. And I don't take that as because I've had black gay men,
Mhm.
come with that same energy. So it's not to me in real life as a black woman. So that's not me trying to, say anything other than that's just more information that I now have. And it does add another layer of like a nuance or what have you to the conversation. So yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. And the thing is, I go over to be a tater. I'm proud to be a tater, I go over to
Mm-hmm.
just chill and relax. But there are certain things that, I feel really strongly about, and I feel strongly about Hussey for a couple of reasons. And one of the reasons is I don't like the fact that, he blacks up and goes out as a
Mm-hmm.
black woman. And I mean, now the thing is, would I mind as much if he was being funny with it, or, did some funny skits or something? I mean, I would think it
But
was
the thing is,
inappropriate.
he
I
probably
would.
doesn't even see it that way, Jan.
Oh, he does, because I've done videos about it.
Well, you might have told him, but he probably didn't really hear it because you don't like him. So he just thinks, oh, this is a hater, X, Y, and Z. But I don't think that because it seems like he has a decent relationship with this housekeeper, from the little understanding I
Very
have of it.
good,
So I don't think he would be doing it purposely to make fun of her or to demean her. You know what I'm saying? I think that's part of the misunderstanding as so as the that we tend to have, some of us have. And it's just interesting. That's part of what kind of draws me into all of it because it's kind of clear as day to me, but like I guess when you're so close up to it, it's hard to see.
Yeah. I mean, I have done videos about it. So, I mean, if you just put Jan's views and blackface, I talk,
Mhm.
in depth about it, and it's something that I feel very strongly about. It's not
Mhm.
something that I laugh about. It's just, no, it's just a no-no.
Jan, I was watching a video, I'm a little however you label it. I was watching this video that Neil Tyson Uh, Nielsen. And he's the like astrophysicist. He's a black man, but he's like, this big scientist. He's like the kind of like the popular scientist of today. Do you know who I'm talking about?
No, no idea, darling. But never mind,
Oh
carry
my God.
on.
What? I know. I'm just. I had to get. Anyway, so he's the scientist, right? And he's giving this talk about death or life or what is space or something weird like that. Time and space or something. And it turns into this conversation on race. And it feels like there's two black men. He's an older man, and it's a younger man. And the younger guy, is his channel, and he's interviewing him in a podcast setting. And I know this guy from crypto. So that's how I'm watching it, but I'm also interested in science. So, when I saw Neil on there, I was like, oh, let me, check it out. But it's just interesting how race came into it. And I mean, it came in like a heavy rain cloud. It's just really interesting how people don't see it because they think for whatever reason that we're in like a post-racial world, and we're totally not.
Yeah, this is
It
see,
like
Dawn
it,
obviously, has seen Hussey. He said he did say she was a sweet lady, and he adored her. The yelling seemed to be just him in Dark Foundation yelling, in my opinion, absolutely.
Mhm.
And I didn't like it, and I didn't like the way he came for me afterwards, and certain people also came for me because I said I feel offended,
Right.
and that it's blackface, and I did this a couple of videos
Nobody
actually
likes
on
to be
blackface.
called a racist, Jan. You know what I mean? People are so
Exactly.
offended to
Well,
be
then
called a
don't act
racist.
like one then. Don't act like
Exactly.
one.
And it's like
Um,
when you put this out on a public platform, and if somebody says, "Hey, as a black person or as a person of African descent, or however you identify, I'm
mhm.
offended by this," it's not really up to you to be like, "Well, tough cookies." It's like if
Well, I
you
think
say
the
you care
thing that
about
really
people.
offended me, I think one thing that really offended me and why I will never talk to anybody in the Petty fam is because they actually came on a panel with me, a couple of
Mhm.
them, and we were discussing Hussey's blackface, and then they decided to have him on panel with them and totally dismissed it. And said, "Oh, is it because, what did he say he was then? Oh, he tried to say he was a cross-dresser then, right?" So Miss Parker, who's another black woman, was saying to him, "Oh, so is it just a matter of you not being able to find the right foundation?" And I was like, I can't believe this. I cannot believe I had this woman on my panel talking about blackface and saying how, it was all for what he was doing. And the next week, she's totally dismissing it and saying it was just a poor choice on his foundation colours.
Mm.
And that's one of the reasons I hate Petty Fam. I won't talk to them. I have them all blocked. Absolutely insane. Because
So what was the conversation about if it wasn't about blackface?
it was about blackface. When I did the panel, it was about blackface, and
So
I
when Hussey went on, it wasn't to address the blackface. What was he there talking about?
it was to address the blackface, but it was also for them to take him under their wing to teach him how to put the right shade of makeup on.
Oh,
Honestly,
so
you
they
couldn't.
weren't addressing the blackface. That's
Yeah,
what it sounds like to
you
me. Got
couldn't
it.
make it up. I was absolutely livid because I tell you what, if there's something guaranteed to make me angry, it's that. It's blackface.
Well,
Don't
it
do
kind
it.
of goes to the whole point where it's like, is it really up to us as black people to address the racism?
Well, we
It's
have
really
to.
like
We
you have
have
to
to,
have.
don't we?
I mean, but that's part of the whole point. It's like we're the disadvantage, we're the whatever. It's like y'all the one who are creating the problem. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah, I know.
I don't
It's
know.
just
It's
not a funny subject for me. I want to go back
no.
to timber.
Mhm.
Um, You didn't make me angry at all. I just feel if someone else, yes, I agree with you 100%, Timber. And I let you into a secret. I'm still learning, darling. I'm still learning. My kids
Mhm.
teach me a lot about it. Remember, I'm of a different generation to all of you. And there are times when I slip up.
Well,
But
even with this
I
whole
never
topic
slip
of
up.
sorry,
Yeah, I
I need
never
to have
slip
patience.
up. I never slip up intentionally, if you see what I mean. And my kids, they teach me, they say, and that's how I learn an awful lot about, these different genders and everything. But yeah, I would hate you to think that I was insulting your daughter. Oh my God, never. Never in a million years. And yeah, and I respect that. And I know that there are people that are different and they should have a voice and they are getting a voice, which is good, which is the same for us black people. We've finally got a voice. We should use it. That's what I believe. We should bloody use it. We've been silenced for too long.
Yeah. I guess for me, I do kind of feel like I have a oh, I'm mixing up my analogies, but it's like I have a toe in the pool here, but I know that's not right. But I consider myself asexual, and I'm still working out what that means exactly. But it's like you don't have a sexual attraction to other people, you
Yeah,
know.
you have
And
like a meeting of the minds. You fall, yeah.
mhm.
Sex doesn't like the actual sex of the person isn't that important to you. Is that what you're
Mm,
saying?
Uh, well, unfortunately I am attracted to men, but it's
Unfortunately.
unfortunate. I I halfway tried, not even realizing it's ridiculous. I'm working on it, but anyway, it's
You'll find your way in the end, Edna.
I know it's ridiculous. It's
Whether
if
it's
I told
whether it's male or female, it doesn't matter. You know,
yeah, and
you will have a mate out
yeah,
there, and it doesn't matter. And it's good that you recognize that in yourself, and you will find the right person. I think
yeah,
I
it's
believe you will find the right person.
Jennifer, don't be telling all my business. I'm trying to trap a man at some point. Jeez.
Who's it? She is saying she does not want sexual relations. Oh, right. Is that true? It's a bit
That
messy. It
that's
is a
a
bit
part of
messy,
what I'm
Edna.
trying to figure out. Because first of all, have we heard about the STDs and like the throat cancers and stuff that people have from oral? It's like I think that just comes about from I've had a lot of sex education from a young age. So it's just one of those things. I don't want children. There's other ways to scratch your itches. You know what I mean? Men are a
There
lot to
are.
deal with. So
Can I ask you this? Are you a germaphobe?
no, I would not consider myself a germaphobe.
Okay.
I I just don't want children. And when I hear like okay, even with politics, the laws that are coming out about abortions and things like that, these are conversations that if I happen upon myself to become pregnant, like am like so I have to I mean, depending on what state I live in, because in some states they're saying that you would have to have proof of like I'm thinking of a police report or something of a sexual assault, or maybe you have to have some kind of notice from a doctor saying that you need to have an abortion. Like, what right, do our politicians have to make those decisions? It's craziness to me. And as a woman, I'm not trying to be in that fight for, pourquoi, porque. I don't,
Do you know what,
So
Edna? The only thing that matters is that you're happy at the end of the day, you know?
exactly.
And if you choose not to have a male partner and not to procreate, that's your choice. That's up to you. Don't be tied by the constraints of normality in this society, because society is crap at the moment. So
Right?
you do you, 100% do you. And do you know what? I have these conversations with my grandkids, and I've had to skip a generation because my kids wouldn't listen to me. But with the grandkids, I talk to them like this, and they're very grown up, my
Mm,
grandkids.
mhm.
And um and I take them aside and I tell them about the importance of loving themselves and not caring about, or not letting it bother them, what their peers say. I
Yes.
instill in them the importance of self-worth and self-love,
Yes.
especially the girls, and I also do that with my sons as well.
But
Um,
people don't understand that, like how I feel about what I'm willing to do sexually or X, Y, and Z, all of that has nothing to do with like how worthy I think I am or how sexy I think I am or whatever. Um, and I know that sounds weird, but honestly, that's the case where it's like I have examples close to me of like I don't want to say too much because it's dramatic and I ain't trying to put somebody else's business out there. But it's like I know I can have a male partner. I could, have a child right now, X, Y, Z with my weight loss, with my skin, with every factor someone could try to throw at me. And
mm,
it's just that I'm not interested in that.
yeah.
So, yeah, and it's like people don't understand, like, just because this is what tradition dictates or X, Y, and Z, like, Listen, tell me that I'm gonna be like a crazy cat lady. Like that sounds like heaven to me. To have my own house, to be gardening, to have like some cats to live with. Now, I do think, like in old age that is important. Like you have to have community and a partner might be a part of that and all that kind of stuff. Like don't get me wrong. But the quote unquote like, digs that people have against women who aren't partnered, who don't have children, you can try again because those are not like I think for like my generation as a whole, it's like it doesn't hit the same way.
Yeah, I agree with you. Absolutely. I mean, I was brought up in the era where, as a girl, I was expected to date and then, marry and then have kids, which is, what I did. And it sort of worked for me at the time. And now I'm like an empty nester and I'm quite happy to have my nest all to myself. Thank you very much.
Mhm.
Even though the girls, especially the girls, or one of them in particular, is always trying to get me, paired off with somebody. And I'm like,
Oh.
why do I want some grumpy old man to come and live in my lovely home? To get on my nerves and to burp and fart and want to touch me. I don't want that. No, I don't have any just
Jen,
have
I
you heard
hear
what Sasha
you.
said? Look,
I feel like
have
you're
you got
preaching to the choir, girl, because I'm just kind of like out as when I first moved back, my original living plans didn't work out. So I was just kind of looking around seeing what other options were. And this one place that I found on Craigslist, this woman bought a home and it was her and her partner, and they had separate bedrooms and they had like one or two other bedrooms available.
Mhm.
And, I wasn't getting into her business because I wasn't gonna live there or anything, but I just thought that was quite interesting where she's like, "Yeah, he pays me rent, like, we in a relationship, but we're not married. This isn't a family," you know?
Yeah. I mean, it's hard, isn't it? Because you do have certain societal pressures put on you,
Yeah.
and especially in my generation. But I'm perfectly happy. I love being able to get up. I mean, my son only left home. My youngest left home a year ago, and
Oh, there's
I
no
couldn't wait.
time,
I couldn't
right?
wait,
You're
and
still enjoying it.
he moved in with his girlfriend, and the first thing I did was turn his bedroom into an art room, and, I still see him, and I'm happy. I'm happy in my own home. I'm not accountable to anybody while I'm at home. Now, if I'm with my kids, I'm accountable to them, but that's a
Right.
different story. But, uh, yeah, I don't want to share my life with somebody else, with another man. Why? And my daughter says, "Oh, well, wouldn't you like to sort of go out on dates and be taken here and have a companion?" And I'm like, "Well, I've got Asker, I've got the cat. I'm happy with that." I don't want somebody sharing my bed. I did it for like 40 odd years. Why would I want somebody else sharing my bed now?
Wow.
And,
It
I've had it, I hate to say it, but I've had enough I've had enough sex to last me a lifetime.
it's
So, yeah,
funny. It's like you're
I'm
that
done.
I mean, that's not an uncommon thing that I've heard, especially from older generations. Working in taxes,
Yeah.
there's a lot of older women, right? And they get to talking. And some of the conversations, I know how their husbands are hung and their sons, all kinds of stuff. And it's hilarious. And you're not the only one, and the thing is, it's like people know when people don't talk about this, and I know it might not be good manners or proper or whatever, but it's entertaining and it's funny and I don't know. I like it. Talk about it on the internet.
All
So
I
thanks for sharing.
That's okay. I mean, all I know is that I keep drumming into my kids, Look, I'm perfectly happy." "Yeah, but mom, wouldn't you like" No, no,
Mhm.
I'm quite happy. I've got all my babies around me and
You
their
know what? Maybe
babies.
they're trying to figure out because they don't understand, right? They're not at that point in
Yeah,
life.
because
So
they're all
the
married or partnered up. Each of my
Right.
kids is either married or partnered up. So
Well,
they
and then you
can't
do hear these stories
understand.
that older women I've come across, like a widows club and different things, and it's just them kind of going through it, talking about how hard life is without their partner. And I mean, I get it. Like my boss at work was kind of like one day he shared that it was his wife's birthday and she had passed recently, and he was just kind of like, "Yeah, I'm probably just gonna go cry," or no, it's real life for people. I'm telling you, Jan, once tax season, I had like 5 to 10 women of, who were clients that were widows. And it was just like, oh my goodness, like my heart just broke for them because they were so sad. And it's like,
Yeah.
I don't like like of course I'm not avoiding a relationship to avoid that pain or hardship or whatever, right? But
Mm,
when you make these decisions, you know that that's not something that you're going to have to deal with like when you're so coupled with somebody, uncoupling yourself, be it in whatever regard, that's a lot and it takes a lot out of you. And there's nothing wrong, I think, with saying like I don't think I want to entangle myself with somebody else to that
yeah.
degree.
No, I don't. Because another thing with me is I'm quite sort of individual, individualistic. And what happens if I find a man they're attracted to the way I am, but
Mhm.
then after a few years they try and change me, and it's very difficult, and then I can't get rid of them.
Mm.
So I don't want to spend the next like the next 20 odd years trying to get rid of some old codger. I'd rather
Right.
just not have one because I'm not
I
gonna, have some
I think it
young
can be kind
guy.
of fun. It can add some excitement to life too. And that's where I'm
No,
trying to figure it out. Well, I'm a
not
different
for
generation. I
me.
got more time to play around with, right? And I'm just trying to figure out what am I going to do with it, some of it. If I'm not raising kids, I like your children say, you don't want to be in the house all day. So,
I like that,
but it
Dawn. You might get the hankering again. No, I won't,
yeah,
Dawn. Stop it. I won't. My kids are always there. Or still find a man, just leave it all to your family.
yeah. See, that's what I'm thinking. You can go out, have fun, but
I
you
don't
don't have to
mind that
get so
idea.
tied into it. Yeah.
I don't mind the idea of,
Okay.
going on dates. Yeah, I'm quite like that. The problem I have is as I've got older, although my eyes are getting worse, I can still see through people much better.
That's it,
So,
right? And
I
it's like
can
you're
see
not even
through
fun
them,
to play. Yeah.
you
And it's
know?
it's kind of like when you know what it is
Yeah.
even with just talking to guys online, it doesn't really go much further because it's like I can tell what kind of person you are, right?
Yeah.
And it's
I
it's like if I'm
remember
talking,
back in the
yeah.
day, I used to go in like the AOL chat rooms, and the first question would be what is it? ASL, age,
Yeah,
sex,
it's the eight.
location. And
I
I'd be
remember
like,
that.
if anyone said that now, they'd have a bloody heart attack. For
Why?
some of them. But no, I'm not interested in that. I've been there, done that, plenty of it. Happy with my memories if I ever need to delve back into them. But there's much more things that are important to me now. And
Mhm.
the most important thing to me is my family. And
My goodness, Sasha, it's not that bad.
it is. It was terrible. It was terrible.
Oh, that's so funny.
ASL.
I remember I was way too young to be having these conversations, right? But I remember one guy was like, "Oh, talking about oral sex." He was like, "Just wait, you're gonna love it." I was like, first of all, you can't
Oh,
tell me
no.
what I'm gonna want to do or want half done." But it was just so funny because it's like people have it in their mind what they're so excited about.
Yeah.
They're
And
not really connecting with you. And that's the thing, like
no.
if someone says X, Y, and Z, like I don't know, I just feel like it takes us to this May Anderson case and just Natter in general talking about all these SA um what's the word? Not convictions, accusations that
Yeah.
he's dealt with in his lifetime. Like 7, 8? That is a lot of misunderstanding, sir. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? To get to the point where because this isn't like, oh, these are relationships. He said like convicts or accusations. So this meant that it involved the authorities and trials and things. Is that what we're saying?
Yeah. Me too, Dawn.
I hated the Winter Cyber. I was done when I saw that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's when I was like, let's, because it was so funny because they were like, oh, it's a release of energy. And I was like, that's what working out is for.
Yeah. I mean, God,
They
it's
were
so.
over me. It was
I th-
so funny.
yeah. But it's these. Yeah. I'm yaring to Sasha on so many levels. It's just, but I can't believe there's actual apps out there now that you find somebody in your area who's horny and you just go and meet up. I mean,
Why not?
for
Honestly, I
God's
feel like that's
sake.
great in so many ways because it's like you can just connect with somebody, you can ask all the questions, get it out the way, do what you do, and move on.
Yeah, but that's what nightclubs used to be like.
Who wants all that music and sweat? Listen, but I am not a clubber. I am an indoorsy type of person.
Don't you do clubs? Oh, back in the day, I used to go clubbing all
No,
the time. I'm
no,
too
thank you.
embarrassed to tell you what we used to do in clubs.
What did
Oh
you
my
do?
goodness. I'm not telling you because my kids will probably see this and they'll be like, oh, mum. I
I,
can't. That's the
oh
trouble with
my
having
goodness.
adult children, you see. I can't
Mm-hmm.
ever say anything that's gonna like shock
No,
them.
that's the issue with having technology where you can't like you can get away. I can get away with some of the crazy shenanigans and I wasn't in crazy shenanigans, but you know what I mean. There's no photographic proof of anything. Where now you can't do anything without being caught on camera doing something. You know what I mean? That you maybe didn't
Yeah.
even
No, I can't. I mean,
do.
even on my channel, um, I know, like, particularly one of my daughters seems to watch everything I do, and then when she wants to hit me around the head about something, she'll bring something up that I was talking about, and I'm like, oh, for God's sake! So I will never admit to anything online. But yeah, I mean, the world
Yeah,
is just so open. Um, is Sasha been? It's Friday night. Is Sasha doing a Jason, do you think?
just is that just joking, just joshing, just
I
kidding?
don't know. His
Sorry, I
spelling's
went
been
too far.
all over the place. So I wonder if Timber's going on tonight. I hope she doesn't go on too late. Because sometimes
Let's see.
she's just
It's
too
only
late for
7
me.
PM for us. So,
Oh, well, it's it's 1:15 in the morning here.
oh
Um,
wow.
I can't see the other comment. What? What was the other comment? Or
Maybe
Daisy?
he retracted it.
Right, what did he
Sasha, you being
say?
oh,
Sasha,
Sasha's
you've been
being
a bad boy.
naughty. Sasha.
Oh, I see. Was it this one? Nada is going
Yes.
down. And then he's talking about cyber.
Oh no, I think he removed it.
Sasha, you've been a bad boy.
Did you do something fun for Cinco de Mayo?
What was that?
Did you do anything to like celebrate? I don't know if fun's the right word, but did you do anything in honor of the day, Cinco de Mayo?
No, I don't even know what that is. Oh, look at me being all ignorant. I
Oh,
saw
it's the
something
5th
about
of
it
May
online.
in Spanish, and let me see if I can just Google it quickly.
Yeah, we could always ask Alexa. She'll probably tell us.
Cinco de Mayo commemorates Mexico's May 5th,
Look.
1862 victory over France in the Battle of Puebla. On that day, Mexican President Benito Juarez left
Oh.
General Ignacio.
Oh, I
The
didn't know
Gen
that.
Zaragoza, a Texas native, to defend the city of Puebla from the French invasion.
I didn't know that.
So I think it's a bit of their like July 4th Independence Day.
I've got heavy filters on. Oh, I always look this attractive. You saw that one of me in my granddaughter's garden. Ah, but I love these little characters I can use. They're cute. The only reason I don't use my my Tater is because people won't know who I am. Know the chat. I haven't got any filters on the chat, have I?
I don't think so.
Got any filters.
Jen, you have heavy filters on here, girl. Oh, like you have blocked words?
Didn't think I had.
Well, you are a blocker, so I
I
don't
am a
know.
blocker. I am a blocker, but I didn't think I'd block the N word.
Sasha, what are you trying to say?
What are you trying to call me, Sasha? Is it with the hard R? That's what I want to know. And if there is, I'll be coming for you. I'll be gunning for you.
Wow, we're making a distinction between the R and the A. Okay. I didn't, Jan, some of these conversations are kind of mind-boggling for me as a 35-year-old. And because I did not expect this to still be like part of the conversation.
A sex joke.
No, the chat is a sex joke. Jen, you have healthy filters on.
I know. And I know what you were saying, Edna. Yeah, I know. Some of the things people say. I can't remember what else I'd put on the filter, but then I don't think I put anything on the StreamYard's filter, but I might have done on the YouTube.
Oh, probably. Because I think it just flows over from StreamYards to YouTube. So if it's
Yeah.
filtered on YouTube, then it would be filtered on StreamYard.
Yeah. There's only a couple of words that I wouldn't have thought that you would use. Okay, so I think I'm gonna go and make myself a quick cup of tea. Must be YouTube. Thanks so much for coming in.
Thank you, Jen. Thank you,
To my
Sasha.
lovely Edna, and also to
Don's
the
Hug
people in
Box.
chat. You were great.
Timber.
Yeah.
And who's the other person? Innocuous?
Yeah. Yeah, we had a few come in tonight. That was nice. Probably 'cause
Something innocuous. And low thought. I think that's everyone that I remember.
Yeah, but it was nice to see people, and I like to do these sort of chats every so often because, I realise when I'm doing my tutorials, I'm doing it as a tutorial really. But I think it's quite nice to talk to people sometimes as well. So I think
Do you think
maybe
you could? I'm
go on.
sorry.
Go on, Edna.
Can't help myself. Do you think it would be fun to talk drama as you're doing the tutorial, or would that be too confusing for you?
The only problem with doing that is the audience I'm hoping to attract with the tutorials aren't gonna be in the drama community. They're
You
not
don't
gonna
know.
know
They
who
might.
the hell I'm talking about.
I don't know who we're talking about either, but that's part of the fun.
That's true.
I don't know who AK is, but hey, she's in the mix.
Yeah, I know. But I just like to think that people sort of get to know who I really am and that I don't take much seriously apart from, racism and art and music.
Just those little things, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I mean. But yeah, I'm glad we had some more people in tonight that we could have a bit of a giggle with. And I hope to see you in Timber's live stream because oh yeah, hang on, Dawn's got a question. I missed a bit of content. May I ask a question? Yes, of course you can, Dawn.
Sure. I think our limit is 3 hours, so we still have about 15, 20 minutes. No,
It's your fault. I honestly I always think, oh, I'll come on for an hour. Then Edna comes on. It just goes so quickly, Edna, doesn't it?
It does.
Does it go quickly? Do you no longer do Sweet Talk? No, not with the same format. But I am thinking of bringing it back. But in a slightly different format.
Is that
I
something
need
that you want to discuss now a little bit?
Yeah, okay. I was thinking, well, I've asked Edna whether she'd be interested in doing Sweet Talk with me. Because I think Edna gives a different perspective on things, and it'll be interesting to hear her talking, about things that I completely disagree with.
So what's
So
the holdup?
the answer, well, the hold up is I want to, yeah, she does. She derails me. She does derail me. But I don't mind that. Now, right, getting back to Sweet Talk, I really enjoyed doing Sweet Talk. What people don't realise was, though, that there was quite a lot of backstage things that needed to be done in order to
Mhm.
get Sweet Talk up and running. It wasn't
Right.
just sitting here and chatting like we do now.
People don't
I
understand how much work goes into this.
They
So
don't,
I
do they?
No, yeah, I get you. Yeah.
They don't. Whereas if I'm just coming on and doing a Jan's chat, it doesn't matter. Whereas with Sweet Talk, I'd normally want to sort of be on camera and, look almost presentable and sort of run it almost like a show, like a proper show.
Mhm.
And I would have things lined up to show. And we did do the odd reaction in there, which I think we could do. So anyway, I put it to Edna a while ago. Edna seemed keen on the idea. I was thinking of adding a third person. I'm not really sure. But Edna, I'm 100% sure on. So it's just me really trying to get my act into gear and sorting out different issues we want to talk about. I think racism is an issue that we will talk for 5 hours
Right.
about, but I
We'll
think
have
I'd
to
like to
structure
talk
it.
about other things.
Yeah, I think when it comes up to these more difficult topics, then maybe instead of having dedicated shows to them, just sprinkle them in a little bit throughout. So maybe it's not too heavy, but also they're ongoing issues. So it's not as if, we can solve it in one talk.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, I mean, it would be quite nice to keep it as light as we could. And, I'm a giggler. I can't help it. I mean, you probably know
Mm-hmm.
that by now. I mean, even when I'm doing my own, my tutorials, I just giggle all the way through it. Can't help
Yeah.
it. So it would be nice to, well, I can't be anyone but myself. So, yeah, so it's just me trying to sort of get my head round it and trying to decide how we do it. And also we used to oh, she's live in 18 minutes. Goody.
Oh,
I'll be back.
awesome. Okay. That gives you enough
Yay.
time to get your cup of tea together for me to refresh my cup.
Yay.
Okay,
Yeah,
so we
that's
have
great,
12
Dawn.
minutes, gives us enough time. So how are we wrapping this up? Go wash up, girl, for the next go do a little voodoo, get regulated. Gives us enough time to do all of that.
So in answer to Dawn, yes, I'm going to bring back Eat Her Chalk. Yeah. Yes, we're going to come back. We're going to come back with Sweet
I
Talk, but we're probably going to have guests as well if we can. But yeah, I think we would probably work quite well together, uh,
mhm.
Edna and
And it
I.
might be a little of a different iteration of Sweet Talk, so it,
Yeah,
maybe reminiscent of Sweet Talk, but
yeah,
it's a new person, so it's gonna be different to some regard
yeah.
or
It will be
extent.
different, but it'll be sort of along the same lines.
Mhm.
And I'll probably just giggle my way all the way through it because that's what I do.
Yeah. You say you do what your way all the way through it?
Giggle.
Oh, of course. That's what
Yeah.
listen, I could tell the most inappropriate stories and finding humor out of it. I was
Yeah.
talking to one of my coworkers about this story of a man who was in New York. My coworker was in New York or is in New York. And the man was completely playing around with a I don't know if it's an off-duty police officer or, the full contact,
Mhm.
but he's playing around with a police officer, like reaching for her gun. And
Oh.
I was laughing so hard I could barely get the story out because he's like, "Hey, like it was almost like a skit. Like it was like he was like, "Ma, like what you doing?" Like and she was like, "Stop playing with me. Like I have a gun and I will use it. Like
Oh my
stop being silly
God.
right now." And he was like, "Hey, yo, like what we doing?"
See, I think it would be fun to have, stories like that, anecdotes
Yeah,
on
and
Sweet
it's just
Talk
one
as
of those
well. And
exactly, and
and
I
I
try to be more appropriate, of course, but, it's just those type of things where, unfortunately, the man lost his life, but, what are we talking about? Foolishness on the internet, right? And
yeah,
you have the what's the word? The not responsibility, the power to the to you I am not thinking of the right word, but you have like the control. There's a certain amount of control that you have over your actions and your life and everything.
right,
And we can learn from these stories and and hopefully take, a bit of positivity or, something out of the laughter and improve our lives from it because I feel like you can learn from any and everybody. It might not be like a happy story, but listen, if you have a police officer that's feeling some kind of way, that's not the time to joke around with them.
exactly. That's a bit foolish, isn't it?
It's very foolish, and I'm sorry. I'm gonna laugh when it's funny.
Yep,
So
and
yeah,
so do I. Right, we're gonna go. All right. And yeah, so Edna, we need to talk about this, what we're gonna do, and so that I can get my head into gear, get it organized. I mean, it'll be very similar to this really, but it would be quite nice if, every so often we get somebody to come on. Right, let's just see what Sasha said. It's like what Marty said to Cyrax, say, why won't you learn? Yeah. Some people don't learn. Some people don't learn. Anyway, we're gonna go so I can get myself a nice cup of tea ready for timber and
yes,
become a tater. And Edna, I'll speak to you very soon, darling. Thanks for
okay.
coming.
Bye,
You're
everyone.
an absolute star. And I'll see you soon. Bye bye, Edna. And I'm going to say goodbye to you myself. Thanks for coming in, guys. Absolutely wonderful you are. You're good. Give me a chance to get a few things off my chest and talk rot and do that. Anyway, I'm out of here. Have a fabulous weekend. I'll see you over in Timbers, no doubt. Take care of yourselves out there because it's a rotten old world. And yeah, take care. God bless you all. Bye bye for now.